All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we're going to begin with our first appearance misdemeanor calendar. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail on misdemeanor charges. Soon after being booked in, their cases have been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Today, when I address each of your cases, I will let you know what is your new case number, what are the charges brought against you, to appoint counsel for you where necessary, to set a bond, and in certain cases to give you a new court date. Let me see, Ms. Champion, what's our next court date?
The SAP restate date will be August the 26th, Your Honor.
26?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. When I address each of your cases, please remember that if you are charged with one or more misdemeanor offenses, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say during the course of this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you. Please keep in mind that these proceedings not only being recorded, but live streamed. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you, either from the Public Defender's Office or from the conflict defense list. If you do have private counsel, please let us know unless counsel has already made an appearance. With respect to bond, some of you may qualify for what we call a signature or release bond, in which case you won't have to pay for the bond today, but you will have to comply with certain conditions. Failure to comply or violation of any of your bond conditions can result in your signature bond being surrendered or revoked. Others may qualify for what we call a surety bond or a cash bond. In that case, you would have to pay for your bond to secure your release, and that can be done either out of your own pocket or through a bonding company. In either event, if you are unable to make bond or you have other holds at the jail, your case will then be reset to August 26th at 9 a.m. And that will be a virtual proceeding as well. So those who plan to attend, please obtain the Zoom link from the clerk's office. If you are a family member, an alleged victim, a witness, someone here in support or against a defendant, and you are appearing via Zoom, please make sure your video is off and that you are muted and you have muted your screen. Please make sure your video is off and make sure you've muted your screen. Okay, courtroom 2, who shall we begin with?
We can start with position 20, Mr. Langford.
Thank you.
Your Honor, before we get started, the state has an announcement we'd like to make.
Go ahead.
On Moham Aadala, the state has come to a consent agreement with Attorney Hong on that case. The consent agreement has been forwarded to Your Honor for your signature. It is a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1, $2,000 for the family violence battery, $1,000 for the family violence simple battery, no violent contact with Makare Aadala. Within 30 days, the defendant shall enroll in a 24-week family violence intervention course at her own expense and report the same to her pretrial officer. She shall not violate the laws of the state of Georgia or any other jurisdiction and shall consume no drugs or alcohol or possess any weapons to include firearms.
Okay. Is position 2 Aadala in the courtroom, either ACDC or courtroom 2?
Yes, Judge, she's right here.
All right. So Ms. Aadala will be released on a signature bond, no violent contact with the victim, and to enroll in the program and report to pretrial once a week. Her case will be further noticed. She doesn't need to be in the courtroom anymore. And her attorney, Sue Hong, will be in touch with her. All right, moving on to position 20, we have Donald Langford, accused of criminal trespass from August 10th, 2025, case 25 CR 4641Y. Mr. Langford, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Hold on. 4, 2011, impersonating a public officer or employee. That's it.
And Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, the state's recommendation is the defendant had gone to the Praise and Worship Temple at 2941 Randall Street in East Point. We did show that he has not had any arrests in the last 10 years subsequent to this. And due to the timing of this case, the state is agreeing to an SOB through the jail. Stay away from 2941 Randall Street in East Point, which is the Praise and Worship Temple, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. He did return to that location after being asked to stay away from that location by an authorized representative. That's all for the state.
All right. Mr. Haddad, any objection to the stay away?
No, Judge, nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. A bond is going to be set at 1,000. It is a signature bond through the jail. And Mr. Langford, if you do not want to come back to jail, make sure you do not return to that particular church at 2941 Randall Street. Otherwise, you will be arrested again, and the next time you will not receive a signature bond. Please keep in mind of this case, maintain a good address, and come back to court when summoned. Thank you. Next case.
Good afternoon, Judge. I do have a quick announcement for position number 10, Ms. Dominguez. She needs a Spanish interpreter.
All right, we will try.
I believe there's going to be one, Judge.
Okay,
I'll need to speak to her whenever she logs on. Thank you, Judge.
thank you. Remind me if you see the interpreter log on. Thank you, Mr. Haddad. Next case.
Thanks, Judge. And then we have position number 8, Ms. Collins.
Shardai Emily Collins is accused of criminal trespass from August 11th of this year, 25 CR 4637C. Ms. Collins, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
4, the 2025 suspended license. 25 CR 0036607C. And it's for trespass. So that's open suspended license and trespass. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk, and what's your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. This case, that open case, the case ending in 3607C, that case was given a $3,000 signature bond through the jail with a stay away from 3030 Continental Colony Parkway, which is the same address that she was at on this occasion, August 11th, which is the Greenbrier Glen Apartments. She was ordered to stay away not only from the unit, but from the entire apartment complex with a one-time law enforcement escort for her belongings. That was ordered on June 27th, 2025 by Judge Williams. Currently, she is in violation of that order. We are, given the lack of history here, this is her third arrest. We are agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services level 1, since the previous bond was a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Greenbrier Glen Apartments at 3030 Continental Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. No further contact with Alicia Young, who's the property manager at that location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. To give Your Honor some context, she was criminally trespassing. She had previously lived at that location, but had been properly evicted from that location. So she wasn't necessarily someone who was unfamiliar with that location. I believe in her previous case, she had been living there previously. I can just double check and make sure that's correct.
Mr. Haddad, any particular reason why it should be a signature bond? Looks like she didn't get the memo the first 2 times.
Your Honor, and that's something that I spoke to her specifically. And what I explained is that apparently there's some issues with eviction. And regardless of that, what I explained to her is that the court, independently whether she was rightfully or falsely evicted, the issue is that this court, not you, Your Honor, but the previous judge, I didn't know who it was, had specifically said to stay away. So what I explained to her is I'm gonna attempt to get a signature bond in this case, but I'm pretty confident that this court is gonna impose a stay away and that she must abide by that order. And I think that's where I think the misunderstanding on my client's part. I will request the court to be gracious, and thank you, Ms. Falk, for making that recommendation. I would ask the court to give my client one more chance, and I've explained to her that this court, if it does give her a bond, I am pretty confident it's going to be a stay away from that location. And respectfully, that's what I would ask for, Judge.
Francois, unmute, please.
And Your Honor, I just double checked the report. That is correct. She was formally evicted on June 3rd.
Okay. Ms. Collins, any reason to go back to the Greenbrier apartment complex? Can't hear you.
Yes, since you all have already evicted me from the location, I need for you all to look at the court case. Anytime Greenbrier Glen put any eviction through, you have to be seen.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't care what happened to the eviction case. You can take that up with your lawyer.
It wasn't an eviction case. That's what I'm
But
trying
Ms. Collins, the only reason I asked you that question is so that you can help your attorney and confirm that you will not go back to that apartment complex. So you can either get a signature bond and stay away, or you can get a surety bond and pay for your bond in order to stay away from that location. So listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. I'm giving you, the prosecutor is acting with grace. Your attorney is telling you to stay away from the location. I have the option. I'm not keen on giving you a signature bond. I'm not.
Okay, well, signature bond, because I'm being forced to choose a signature bond, but you all have to look at the court case that I went to with the.
Okay. So you all is going to be you and your attorney and the judge who gave you the eviction order. I'm not that judge. I may have been, but I'm not in the middle of that case. But your bond right now is going to be $10,000.
No, ma'am, it was 1,000. It was already set.
10,000. 10,000. Signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. And you will report to pretrial once a week. And you will stay 500 yards away. 500, that's the distance of 5 football fields from the entire apartment complex. And if you violate, I can't hear you because right now you're muted. You can yell all you want. You're muted right now. Okay. And if you return to that location, please remember to bring $10,000 with you because that's how much it's going to cost for you to be released. I have absolutely no confidence in your ability to stay away, so I hope you prove me wrong. Because if you come back to jail, it's going to be a $10,000 bond. Please unmute.
That's fine. I'll have my lawyer because you all are overlooking the case that prior to even me coming here.
You return to that apartment complex, you will be arrested again.
The apartment complex got in touch with me, ma'am.
You are not allowed to return even to retrieve your property. No one-time visit. None.
I didn't go there to retrieve my property. They gave me a correspondence to show that whatever balance was due.
You cannot return to the property. This is the end of my discussion with you. And when you speak to a lawyer, learn how to be quiet because you're just jeopardizing your defenses. Why am I giving her a signature bond?
Yeah, this is per judge too, just so you know, Melissa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I'm giving her a signature bond, but we're moving on. Thank you, Francois.
Next is position 9, Ms. Dodson.
Just first arrest.
Okay. Quinishia Dodson is accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property and simple battery family violence. Case number 25 CR 004672G. This is from August 11th, 2025, just a couple of days ago. All right, Ms. Dodson, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad and first arrest. So Ms. Falk, how gracious do you feel right now?
My graciousness does not change
Okay.
unless it is based on the defendant's history. So I noted that this is the defendant's first arrest. We did have an opportunity to speak with Miss Crystal Jackson. She stated that she and the defendant are in a relationship. They do live together, and she confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that she does not wish to move forward at this point. She does want contact, and she is not in fear of the defendant. I will say that based on the report, it looks like they were arguing and the defendant struck her in the face and took her iPhone 15 and broke the screen. I am agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services, level 1, no further violent contact with Crystal Jackson, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms, 2-day anger awareness, and I would like to sound for Miss Crystal Jackson at this time. I believe, and there is one thing I wanted to add, I just want to check my victim advocate's notes, but I do believe, let's see, or this may be another individual. Okay, that was a different individual. I was about to say there was a copy of charges on someone, but that's not this individual. All right, so we would like to sound for Miss Jackson, and that's all for the state.
I have a Crystal's iPhone. Let's see if that is the phone. If she wants to unmute and address the court, this will be the time to unmute and start the video. Otherwise, yes, no?
Hello.
Hello, yes. All right, we're looking at a road. Okay. Ma'am, please remove your hat. You're in a courtroom?
What?
All right.
What's that on my head?
Okay. On the criminal trespass is going to be 1,000. On the simple battery is going to be 1,000. This is going to be a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. Ms. Dodson, please maintain a good address with the courts. You are to have no violent contact with Crystal Johnson. You may return to the same place where you live with her if you want to. You report to pretrial once a month. You will attend and complete 2 anger awareness classes through pretrial services. No illegal drugs, no weapons, and no firearms. And make sure that you maintain a current address with the court. Thank you.
What was that bond?
2,000 total signature bond through pretrial level 1.
What's the contact?
No violent contact and
Thank
2-day anger awareness.
All right.
Next case.
Judge, I have position number 13, Ms. Gunn.
13, okay. Is our interpreter on Zoom yet? No? Oh, I do see her.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon.
And Your Honor, whenever the court addresses some of Mike McLean's cases, I can switch over to a breakout room, Judge, with the interpreter, so I can speak to my client.
All right, we'll need to make sure your client's in a separate room. So let's try to get through those logistics then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Nastasia Gun is accused of 2 counts of simple battery family violence under accusation 25 CR 4639J. Incident date appears to be August 11th of this year. Ms. Gunn, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
20. She got a lot of driving. I see a 2016 FTA, but mostly suspended license, driving without valid license.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor, and the state did note that as well, that other than I showed 2 FTAs in 2016, but the remainder of her history entirely was driving offenses, no violent offenses, no other types of offenses. We did not have an opportunity to speak with Mr. James Hart, but it does appear based on the warrant and the police report, this was a verbal altercation that escalated into pushing. And that she also was arguing with him and pushed him and threw a phone at him and hit him in the chest with the phone. We are agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services. However, we are asking for no further contact with James Hart since we were not able to get in contact with him, and there's been less than 48 hours since the time of this offense. Stay away from 5177 Seaside Court in South Fulton. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are agreeable to 2 days of anger awareness as well as part of the conditions of this bond. And that's all for the state. We would like to sound for Mr. James Hart if he is here.
James Hart, if you are present and like to address the court, please unmute and start your video. All right. Mr. Haddad, any objection with a no contact and stay away?
Your Honor, there's no objection. I just wanted to note, and I explained that to my client, that apparently the residence is in her name, and I told her that the court, if we don't hear from the alleged victim, often imposes a stay away. So she's going to have to go through the eviction process. The stay away is fine, Judge. I think the issue is the residence, but I explained to her the process as how to go about it. She's employed, has a good job, Judge. I would just ask for her to be released on her own, not through pretrial services. I'm sorry, Judge.
All right, these were one of the warrants that I managed to read out of the 42 cases that we received. On the simple battery family violence, count 1 is going to be 1,500. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. This is going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. I'm going to impose a no further violent contact with James Hart under these circumstances. And I'm going to require her to, she can go back and stay at the same place, but if she engages in any verbal altercations, arguments, or a physical altercation with James Hart, then she's back in jail and probably in a no bond status. If she wants Mr. Hart to vacate the premises, he can either do so voluntarily, or she can, like you said, file a dispossessory action against him. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons, and 2 days of anger awareness classes. The next court date will be sent to the Seaside Court. If she moves and changes her address, make sure that we are the first folks to find out in writing of a new address. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, I'm sorry, she has a quick question.
Who? All right.
Yeah, I travel for work, and I've been in Maine for almost 2 years for work, and I technically was supposed to leave yesterday. So this anger management class, like, and my contract's not up to September with the possibility of.
Ms. Gunn, you decide. If you want to pay a 2,500 surety bond, I'm not going to make you do those classes. But you are in jail and you're charged with 2 crimes. So you decide if you want to pay for your bond or whether you're going to attend those anger awareness classes. It is non-negotiable with me.
I don't have an issue with attending that. That's what I was asking for. I was trying to ask for these in-person classes, or like, can I do these like via video, because I do travel for work. That's what I was trying to ask.
No. Report once a month and make time in your schedule to do this. If you need to explain to work that you have criminal charges against you and you're required to report to pretrial, so be it.
Okay.
You decide which is more important, paying for the bond or reporting to pretrial.
I just wanted to ask.
No, I'm not going to excuse you for work reasons. Next case.
Can we go to position 33, Ms. Terrell at ACDC?
All right, is that going to be Mr. McLean's case?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Okay. Would this be a good time to have Mr. Haddad in a breakout with the Spanish case?
No, Judge, we would have to do the breakout here at ACDC.
Okay, I'll let you plan it then, Francois.
Okay. Thank you.
Megan Holly Terrell is accused of battery, family violence, tampering with evidence, theft. Is that Mr. McLean, is that your client?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, tampering with evidence, theft by taking, and simple battery family violence from July 15th of this year. under accusation 25 CR 4649A. Ms. Terrell, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
No.
Okay, first arrest. Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services. No further violent contact with Arthur Leo. Stay away from the incident location, which is 360 Buckingham Road, Buckingham Lane, Fairburn. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This incident occurred on July 15th. It was officers arrived at the incident location in reference to a domestic dispute. And when they arrived, they met with the victim, Mr. Leo, who stated that he had been attacked by the defendant when he confronted her about cheating on him. He told her they were breaking up and she needed to get her things and leave the residence. She grabbed him by his waist and wouldn't let him go and put her arms around him, and subsequently ended up biting him. And slapped him with an open hand across his face. He actually went outside to see if everything was recorded on the Ring camera, and she ripped the Ring camera from the wall, so he wasn't able to show officers any video. Officers did observe the bite mark on Mr. Leo when they were on the scene, and he did inform officers that he was concerned about her mental health. We would like to sound for Mr. Leo in the event that he's joined us in court, and that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Arthur Leo, if you're on Zoom, this will be the time to unmute and start your video if you have something to say. All right. Mr. McLean, on count 1 is going to be 1,500. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. Count 3 is 1,000, and count 4 is 500. That's $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Arthur Leo to stay away from the 360 Buckingham Lane in Fairburn location. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And within 30 days of being released, she will enroll and complete 24 weeks of domestic violence intervention program. These are 24 weeks of classes that she must enroll and attend and complete at her expense. Report to pretrial once a week. Mr. McLean, does your client need to return to the location for anything?
Unless there's a one-time visit needed for belongings, I would not think so. Ms. Terrell, is there anything you need to retrieve?
No, she said no. All right. No one-time visit. She'll need to stay away from the location and not communicate with Mr. Leo in any way, form, or manner. No illegal drugs, alcohol, and weapons. And she'll also need to update us with her mailing address. I have a Mobile, Alabama address for her.
Your Honor, we have a better address now. It's a friend of a friend in Lyons, Georgia. I think that's how it's pronounced.
All right.
L-Y.
So within 30 days of her release, she need to come to the clerk's office and confirm her address, her phone number, and email in writing.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is for 11, Ms. Foster.
That's my case, Judge.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Murphy. Talitha Foster is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence from August 12, 2025. Case 25 CR 4674D. Ms. Foster has been advised of her rights. Her attorney is going to be Mr. Dennis Murphy. Is there a cross defendant in this case?
No, Your Honor. This is the case where the other individual was given a copy of charges.
Okay. And any prize, Mr. Howard?
7. Got open disorderly conduct and a fray out of Riverdale. Theft by taking open out of Gwinnett. I got armed robbery in Fulton, 24 PI 006308. And a criminal damage to property, 2nd degree out of Coweta.
And Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is going to be a $5,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $2,000 on the family violence simple battery. No further contact with Derek Gaddison, that is the father of the defendant. Stay away from 5370 Longs Meadow Lane. in Atlanta, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no firearms. According to Mr. Gaddison, the defendant struck him in the face with an open hand 3 times. That was coming from a verbal argument because of items that were believed to be missing from the residence. Then the argument escalated from there. The state's main concern here is the defendant's history, and more specifically her recent history. She's got a $15,000 surety bond for that armed robbery under that 24 PI case number. The March 2023 criminal damage to property in the second degree is out of Coweta and has no disposition, nor does the November 24 arrest for theft by taking out of Gwinnett, nor does the April 2025 arrest for disorderly conduct in a fray. So within a 2-year period of time, she has now picked up an armed robbery, criminal damage to property, theft by taking, disorderly conduct, a fray, and now this case. I just think she is definitely headed down the wrong path. And we feel that based on the Ayala factors, she's now a risk of reoffense. That's the reason for our surety bond. We would like to sound for Mr. Derek Gaddison, and that's all for the state.
Derek Gaddison, if you're on Zoom, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Murphy?
Judge, there was a co-defendant in this case. My client is employed with United Parcel Service. She's been there approximately 3 years. She is a college graduate. She went to Georgia State University. She attended high school in this area. She is a resident of Georgia. The alleged victim and cross-defendant is age 52, is the father of my client. The address of this incident is a house which my client leases, not Mr. Gaddison. My client has 3 children, and they are minor children.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond under these circumstances. Again, there was a cross-defendant who was charged. We're not here to argue about the other history, and someone needs to look after these children. And I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. She does have a definitive address. She does have employment.
I will point out, Your Honor, that the defendant alleged that Mr. Gaddison punched her 3 times in the face. She had no injuries. He had bruising. So the officers gave a copy of charges, I think, in recognition of the conflicting evidence of the defendant's claims.
All right, thank you. On count 1, it's going to be 1,500. On count 2 is 1,000. This is a 2,500 surety bond. She's to have no further contact with Derek Gaddison. She can have a one-time visit to 5370 Long Meadow Lane in Atlanta, Georgia. And if the officer verifies that Mr. Derek Gaddison does not live there anymore, then she may move back into the property. Otherwise, this one-time visit would be for her to retrieve her children and her belongings, and then provide a separate mailing address within 30 days of being released. No further contact with Derek Gaddison, and after the one-time visit, to stay away from the Long Meadow Lane. Of course, she has the right to have Mr. Gaddison evicted if she is the leaseholder of that property. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and her next court date is going to be August 26th.
$2,500 surety bond total, correct, Your Honor?
Correct, correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 37, Ms. White.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Judge, you can do the breakout here. We're ready for that.
All right, Mr. Haddad and Miss Lucia and Miss Grace, would you be able to place Miss Lucia, ACDC, and PD Jamal Haddad in a breakout, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, was that position 34?
37.
37, okay.
Amisha White is my case, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Amisha White is accused of simple assault and simple battery from August 12th of 2025, case 25 CR 4680J. Ms. White, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Dennis Murphy. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 2023 simple battery dismissed. 2023 failure to appear. 2020 battery dismissed. And the add-on just came through.
Okay.
It's this calendar.
And Your Honor, the add-on will need to be held till the end based on the charges.
Okay. In this particular case, what's the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, $1,000 for simple battery, and $500 for the simple assault. This incident stemmed from a domestic dispute occurring on August 12th when officers were dispatched to 6127 Chastain Way in reference to, again, a domestic dispute. The defendant, her mother, her sister, and her sister's significant other all reside together at this location. When officers arrived on the scene, Miss Amisha White, which is the defendant's sister, and her significant other, Mr. Cordell Lavelle, explained to officers that they were having a dispute, and the defendant intervened in their room. And the situation got out of hand, but she ultimately ended up striking Mr. Lavelle in the face and attempting to hit her sister, but she missed. Officers at the scene did speak to Miss Ramika, who's the mother who also resides at the scene, and she did inform officers that at the time she wasn't really sure how the altercation occurred, but she would have liked the defendant removed from the scene at that time. We did speak to Ms. Hines today. She stated that her and the defendant are sisters. They were living together at this incident location, but they've been kicked out since this incident. She's not in fear of the defendant, and she does not wish to continue with the charges and would like to continue contact. The state's recommendation, again, Your Honor, is a $1,500 surety bond. No further violent contact with Ms. Hines. We did not get in contact with Mr. Lavelle, so we'll ask for no contact with him. Stay away from the incident location with the exception of a police escort to retrieve her belongings, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and we'll sound from Ms. Hines or Mr. Lavelle in the event that they've joined us in the zone.
All right. Ms. Hines, Mr. Lavelle? All right, Mr. Murphy? Yes, sir.
Judge, the narrative is somewhat correct. There was a dispute with my client's sister and Mr. Lavelle. Now, my client contends that she was asked to intervene on behalf of her mother, and then things went sideways, so to speak. My client grew up in Georgia, went to high school here. She's not employed right now. She's a caretaker for the niece of her deceased sibling. So we have no resources to make a bond at this point. We'd ask for a signature bond given these circumstances. There's no resources whatsoever. My client did not live with Cordell, did not work with them, and had no other social or any other contacts with this person whatsoever. So I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond, and she'll have to consider her living arrangement, but she's advised me she has no discernible assets to make a bond at this point. There would be no point, I believe, keeping her in custody on a dispute of this nature.
You understand that she's got a 2023 FTA. On the simple assault is going to be $250. On the simple battery is going to be $750. It's going to be a $1,000 surety bond. No violent contact with her sister, Miss Hines, and no contact with Mr. Lavelle. Stay away from 6127 Chastain Way in Fairburn, Georgia. She may return one time only with a police officer to retrieve her belongings, but within 30 days, she must update the court with her new mailing address. I understand that, Mr. Murphy, you'll need to stick around. I don't know, does she have another case?
Like an open case or with us?
She's not on the add-on calendar, is she?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the bond, 1,000 surety. Her next court date is going to be August 26th.
Thank you, Ron.
Next is position 26, Ms. Prinup.
Zera Prinup is accused of simple battery family violence from August 11th of this year, 25 CR 4647B. Ms. Prinup, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors?
Second. Open ag assault 25 PR 002447.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. That open ag assault that pretrial mentioned, the victim in that case is actually the same victim in this case, which is the defendant's mother. That case, that incident actually occurred. The defendant pulled a knife on her mother. This incident that occurred on August 11th, officers were dispatched to 1177 Lucille Avenue in response to a dispute between the mother and daughter. Both parties called separately. When officers arrived, they met with Miss Eccles, Jasmine Eccles, who's the victim here, and she stated that her daughter was cleaning the house, and they had a verbal argument, but it got physical when her daughter jumped on her and began choking her around her neck. So she was on top of her on the couch with her arms around her, holding her neck. Officers did not they did not observe any visible marks on Miss Eccles at the time, and she did not mention that she lost consciousness or breathing. So it didn't exactly happen for a long time or proceed to a strangulation point, but she did jump on top of her and subdue her in that manner. At the time, Ms. Eccles declined to press charges, but the state, we were not able to contact Ms. Eccles today, Your Honor, but the state does have concerns about Ms. Eccles' safety. It appears that the defendant does live at the incident location with her daughter, her infant daughter, who was left in her mother's control after this altercation. However, we feel, in light of this open case and this new situation, that the defendant needs to stay away from the incident location and arrange other and make other living arrangements. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, with the exception of a police escort to retrieve her belongings and, of course, her infant child. No contact at all with her mother, Jasmine Eccles, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And we'll sound from Ms. Eccles in the event that she's joined us, and that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
All right, Jasmine Eccles, if you are on Zoom, please unmute and start the video if you want to be heard. Jasmine Eccles. All right, according to the felony case, she was given a $7,000 surety bond, which she made. No contact with Jasmine Eccles and to stay away from the 1177 Lucille Avenue. This was back on, was it March 29th of this year. Okay. Yes, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, normally, as you know, I don't get into the facts, leaving that for the trial lawyers to prepare for. But in this situation, I should mention that when she told me about the felony case and we discussed these items that we've just mentioned, she says a social worker told her to talk to her mom about blah, blah, blah. And I said, that was, you should have ignored that. Somebody should have looked up the court stuff. That's crazy. You don't go against court orders. The person must have been ignorant of that if they told you that you had an issue you needed to go talk to your mother about. It definitely should not do that. She understands now. We're going to ask the court to give her the lowest possible bond, even if it is a signature bond, Your Honor, to give her another chance on that because of the misunderstanding, frankly. That's all I can really say. She's 17. She goes to Booker T. Washington High School. She works part-time at a restaurant. When I write down restaurant, I usually put down industries because I don't want my clients to get doxxed by people who may be looking. So I don't write down the company, but it's probably a fast food restaurant. She also has the child, and she's being a homemaker with the child, doing the best she can, trying to do three things at once. I did get hold of her, I believe, either grandmother or aunt, whose name is Antonika, about if the court requires a co-signer to try to get somebody in the family that knows all about the situation to be a good co-signer so they can make sure she makes court.
Bond is set at $2,000. This is a surety bond. Ms. Prinup, I don't want you to have any confusion. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask it. Once you make your bond, your next, you are to have no contact whatsoever with Jasmine Eccles. You're to stay 200 yards away from her. You're not to call her by phone, through a third person, through email, phone calls, computer devices, and you cannot discuss her on social media. You're not to be seen anywhere near 1177 Lucille Avenue. You cannot return to that location. If you need to retrieve your belongings, you need to send a third party who is acceptable to your mother to retrieve your belongings and your child. But you yourself cannot return to that building. While you are also at the jail, I'll need you to undergo a social worker visit. If not for any MH issues, at least for housing issues, because once you're released, you need to live somewhere else, and you'll need to make sure that you provide the court with your new mailing address. Your next court date is going to be August 26th. No illegal drugs, no alcohols, and no weapons. You've been advised of your right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say can and will be used against you. Keep in mind that this new case is apparently a violation of your bond order in your felony case. So I would not recommend that you make any comments in case you jeopardize your bond, unless it already has been.
I just wanted to say that all my school records and stuff and my child's school records is up on her name.
All right. Make sure you select a third party who will be able to retrieve your belongings and your child for you. You yourself cannot return to that location.
Okay.
Judge, we're ready for our Spanish interpreter case, which is position number 10, Ms. Dominguez.
Ms. Lucia, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. No, not that. I gave you the witness oath. Sorry. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the information you translate will be the true and accurate translation with no changes or embellishments?
I do.
Thank you so much. Maria Dominguez Lara is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence from August 12, 2025.
La señora María Domínguez Lara está siendo acusada de agresión simple, violencia doméstica y agresión simple en un caso que ocurrió el 12 de agosto del 2025.
Her case number is 25 CR 4673E.
El número de su caso es 25 CR 004673E.
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, Mr. Jawan Haddad will be your appointed counsel.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que usted diga puede ser y será usada en contra suya. Tiene también el derecho a traer un abogado. Si usted no puede costear un abogado, el señor Jawan Haddad le va a representar el día de hoy. Él es un defensor público.
Mr. Howard, does she have any prior convictions?
Y la juez pregunta si es que tiene algún antecedente previo.
She don't. This is her first arrest.
Le indican que este es su primer arresto.
Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation in this case is going to be a signature bond through pretrial services.
Y le pregunta a la fiscal qué es lo que recomienda. La fiscal está recomendando una fianza bajo su firma por medio de la oficina anterior a los juicios.
No further violent contact with Mr.
Gerardo Cementa?
Yes, Gerardo Cemental.
ningún contacto violento en el futuro con el señor Gerardo Cimental.
No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms.
No puede usar bebidas alcohólicas, drogas o poseer ninguna arma en el tiempo que usted esté bajo fianza.
We are also going to recommend a social worker visit prior to her release.
Vamos a recomendar también, antes de dejarla irse, una visita con una trabajadora social.
During an argument, she struck her uncle in the face, that is Mr. Cimental, causing swelling to his eye.
Durante una pelea, ella le pegó en la cara al señor Cimental, que es su tío, y ocasionó pues el golpe o una hinchazón.
However, it is some of the allegations about what the contents of the argument were about that is causing the state to ask for a social worker visit just out of an abundance of caution.
Sin embargo, es la información que tenemos sobre las alegaciones, sobre lo que se alega que causó el argumento, lo que le está haciendo a la fiscalía a mandar una trabajadora social con usted.
We would like to sound for Mr. Cimental, and that's all for the state.
Quisiéramos ver si es que el señor Cimental está aquí y vamos a ver si es que está presente por Zoom. Damas y caballeros, si es que están en la llamada de Zoom, el señor Gerardo Cimental. El señor Gerardo Cimental, si se encuentra en la llamada de Zoom, por favor, abra su cámara y su micrófono.
Could you also call out for Olivia Contreras if she's here?
Okay. También, si es damas y caballeros, la señorita Olivia Contreras, la señora Olivia Contreras, si se encuentra en la llamada de Zoom, por favor, abra su cámara y su micrófono.
All right. Mr. Haddad, this is an agreement for a signature bond. Do you happen to have her boyfriend's name?
Your Honor, that's her uncle. The alleged victim is
her uncle.
Is
Yes.
her uncle,
Yeah,
Judge.
that's Gerardo Cimental, right? But they were arguing over whose boyfriend?
Judge, I'm not sure. I mean, I believe my understanding is, well, I mean, I don't know other than what I'm reading in the warrants, Judge.
Miss Lara, a niece and uncle. Okay. All right.
So, Judge, if I may, we don't have an objection to the signature bonds. I am a bit concerned about a social worker visit for two reasons.
En cuanto, eso fue todo de la fiscalía. Ahora el abogado defensor dice que no tiene ningún problema con la fianza bajo su firma nada más, pero que le preocupa un poco a él la visita de una trabajadora social por dos razones.
Mainly, Judge, is that it's going to delay because our social workers do not speak Spanish, and it's just going to delay the process. In lieu of that, I would request perhaps a one-day anger management class that my client will attend, will have to attend. I didn't see any concerns, the mental health aspect requiring a social worker, Judge.
Y la razón por la que él indica que no quiere la trabajadora social es porque eso va a demorar su salida porque no tienen trabajadoras sociales que hablen español.
Mr. Haddad, did you read the warrant?
Yes, Judge. My comment about the social worker had to do with my conversations with her, Judge. That's my comment. But the warrant, Judge, I read a whole bunch. I don't remember right offhand.
I know the 42 cases. Yeah, they understand. Go ahead, Miss Lucia, if you want to translate what we just said.
Eso es lo que él dice y la juez le preguntó si es que leyó la orden y él dijo que, bueno, tiene bastantes casos, como 42 casos.
And Miss Falk, your recommendation for no violent contact is based on?
So we did not have an opportunity to talk to Mr. Cimental. However, because they were living in the same household, and they are related, we were erring on the side of no further violent contact.
La juez pregunta por qué está la fiscal sugiriendo que se ordene en la orden judicial que no haya contacto violento en el futuro. Y lo que la fiscal indica es que es porque viven en la misma casa y son familiares.
And Mr. Haddad, your client does not speak any English at all?
She does not, Judge, and I just want to point out or let the court know that she does have a couple aunts that live in the same area, about 5 minutes away. Because I've previously had talked to her about maybe if there's a stay away, she'll have to find another place to stay, Judge. And I'm just mentioning that to the court.
Y hay también su abogado le está mencionando a la juez que usted tiene unas tías donde puede ir a vivir con ellas temporalmente si necesita.
On the battery family violence, it's going to be 1,500. The simple battery family violence is going to be 1,000. This is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 1.
Y este es el fallo de la jueza. Para la acusación de agresión simple son $1,000. Para la acusación de agresión simple y violencia doméstica son $1,500. Eso es una fianza de $2,500 que no tiene que pagarla, sino que puedes salir con su firma únicamente, pero va a estar bajo fianza en el término, en el tiempo después de que salga, hasta que cumpla lo siguiente.
She's to have no violent contact with Gerardo Cimentel and any other members of that household.
No puede tener ningún contacto violento con el señor Gerardo Cimental, ni tampoco con ningún otro miembro de la familia que viva en esa misma casa.
She's not allowed to have any guests at the home.
No puede tener usted ninguna visita en la casa.
If she wants to move out, she needs to let us know of her new address within 30 days of being released.
Usted puede regresar allá, pero si es que quiere mudarse de ahí, está bien, puede mudarse, nada más que necesita dejarle a la corte saber su nueva dirección en los 30 días después de que se muda, máximo.
She reports to pretrial once a month.
Tiene que reportarse a la oficina que le está dando la fianza, que es la oficina de antes de llegar a un juicio, en inglés se llama pretrial, y tiene que reportarse una vez al mes.
She will enroll in a domestic violence program within 30 days of being released.
En los primeros 30 días, en el transcurso de los 30 días después de que la dejen salir, le van a dejar, tiene usted que matricularse y asistir y terminar una clase en contra de violencia doméstica.
The classes can be in Spanish, they can be online, but she must pay for the classes herself.
La clase puede ser en español, hay clases en línea también, puede ser virtual, pero usted debe pagarla.
That's it. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and make sure you report to court.
No puede beber bebidas alcohólicas, no puede tener drogas ilegales con usted, ni usarlas, ni puede poseer ningún arma. Y asegúrese de regresar a la corte cuando le llegue la cita, el citatorio.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias, eso es todo. Your Honor, and if that is all the business for the interpreter in your court, may I be excused?
Yes, could you just sound out if courtroom 2 needs a Spanish interpreter?
Yep. Damas y caballeros que están en la sala número 2, que necesitan ver a la jueza el día de hoy, ¿hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español? Si es que lo necesitan, por favor, párese y déjenos saber. Your Honor, I sounded off and I did mention that if you need one, to please stand, but I don't see anybody.
That would be correct. No one also. So thank you so much, Miss Lucia. I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Thank you. Courtroom 2, next case, please.
Add-on number 2, Ms. Williams.
This is Canadia Williams, case 25 CR 4690 D. Ms. Williams is accused of simple battery from January 11th, 2025. Ms. Williams, you have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, please?
So the GCRC has an arrest date on there for January 11th, but I think this is the same thing, so I'm not sure what's going on. So
Okay.
I'm going to assume this is her first arrest, but I thought she got arrested on the 11th, so I don't really know what happened with this case.
All right, and Ms. Harrison, do you know how this case has come about us? Because she was booked in on, she was arrested on January 11th, but she was booked into Fulton County on August 12th.
Yes, Your Honor. Just give me 1 second. Let me confirm just to make sure I'm not confusing her with anyone else. Yeah, this case was bound over. And I believe that's how it's in front of us from the municipal court in Union City.
She's been incarcerated in Union City since, when was she bound over? Transferred to Fulton County Jail.
I
She
have
paid
a
a $3,500 surety bond. And this was signed by Judge Tremont on August 12th, 2025.
Your Honor, if you look at page 5 of the packet, in the jail packet, it says that the charge is FTA.
Yeah.
So it looks like she failed to appear and then was arrested, and the date of arrest on that 5th page is August 8th of 2025. So it looks like she initially was arrested in January, failed to appear, got an FTA, is back before us.
Thank you, Deputy Falk.
No problem.
All right. Okay. And Ms. Harrison, what's your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation was actually $1,000 signature bond due to the FTA. This case was an incident, a sibling physical altercation. Officers arrived on the scene and they were not able to really make out who the primary aggressor was. Neither were we, but they observed injuries on both parties. The state's recommendation, of course, is $1,000 surety bond, stay away from Sherry Williams. I'm sorry, no contact with Sherry Williams, which is the defendant's sister. Stay away from her residence location, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And we'll sound from Ms. Williams in the event that she's joined us. But she was too arrested, Your Honor, on the date of the incident. And that'll be all for this.
Sherry Williams, if you're on Zoom. All right. And what's the incident location? I'm sorry, the bind over case, is it at the Flat Shoals Road in Union City?
I scrolled up too soon. It is
Mr. McLean?
4712 Flat Shoals Road. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. McLean,
Yes, Your Honor, I've got some information here.
okay.
High school student, graduate, local person. She has a stable emergency number with a parent. Does not live at the address just mentioned. She lives on High Point in Union City. She works in environmental services and has worked in a warehouse. Despite the FTA, we would ask the court to see if there's any way to make an exception to work around that, whatever confusion she had missing court that she was supposed to go to. I guess maybe that was a Union City court, but she is young. She's 28, and she and I discussed how to never miss court. I gave her the methodology.
Do you think she understood?
Probably.
All right. Bond is set at $25. And once she pays that bond, she'll need to make sure that she reports to court when summoned. No violent contact with Sherry Williams, and stay away from the 4712 Flat Shoals Road, apartment 8308 in Union City, Georgia. When she gives us her current mailing address, she'll need to make sure she comes back to Fulton County State Court. She does not return to Union City Municipal Court. Union City Municipal Court has transferred the case to us. Do you understand? Ms. Williams? Once you pay the $25 bond, make sure you comply with these conditions. I certainly don't want you to lose that bond amount. Thank you.
Next, Judge, we have position number 17, Ms. Holiday.
17. Natroya D. Holiday is accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property, 2 counts, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. These 3 charges stem from an August 12, 25 incident under Accusation 25 CR 4684E. Ms. Holiday, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
6. 2019 suspended license. 2018 cruelty in the first offender. 2018 trespass, family violence, NOLO. 2011 battery DV. Criminal damage to property, 2nd degree.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. We did have an opportunity to speak with Daquan Williams. He is the individual who's working for the ambassador force when this happened. He stated that this is his regular route. He sees the defendant frequently on this route. He also stated that the defendant will normally just yell at him, but he ignores her. However, this is the first time she has actually gotten violent. He also stated that she broke 2 of his phones and the ATV windshield. And she also stated he hit him in the arm with the umbrella. Prior to this, the way the report and the warrant read, she was swinging a wooden umbrella handle, but didn't actually strike him. According to Mr. Williams, she actually did strike him with that umbrella handle. He does not want contact, but he does state that this location is where she usually resides. He was not able to attend the Zoom today, but we do have some concerns. We are asking for a social worker visit as a part of this, and we are asking the bond remain as set. It's currently at a $1,980 surety bond, $780 for the criminal trespass involving the windshield, involving the windshield, and $1,200 involving the cell phone. I believe that was the breakdown. We are asking that remain as set, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We are also asking for a social worker visit. The disorderly conduct, that was an add-on charge for the state. So if Your Honor wants to just give a signature bond to that, the state has no objection. We would also ask that she have no further contact with Daquan Williams, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. But our main concern is that there may be some issues that may cause her to be on the 11 o'clock calendar. And that's why we're asking for a social worker visit. I also just want to kind of alert everyone, based on the police report, it actually did state that the damage to the windshield was over $500. So we are going to be requesting a receipt from for that ATV windshield. If it is over $500, that becomes a felony and will need to be transferred. That's all for the state.
Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, Ms. Holiday is 38 years of age, Judge. She's born and raised in Atlanta. She told me that she does cleaning for a living. Gave me an address that's on the booking report. She says that that's where she lives. I would ask for as low a bond as possible. I know the pretrial report suggests a UGR 2. I would ask the court to consider as low of a bond as possible.
Okay. On the count 1 is going to be 500. Count 2 is going to be 500. That's going to be a total of $1,000 surety bond. And the count 3 is going to be a 500 signature bond through the jail. This is a $1,500 split bond. Stay away from 280 Spring Street in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Daquan Williams. And no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. The next court date is August 29th, August 26th, unless and I'm going to require a social worker visit, if not for MH issues, for housing issues then. But Mr. Haddad, we're going to keep it at the SAP calendar.
Judge, based on my limited interaction, yes. And if anything changes with the social worker or additional contact from our office with her, we can always change it to the 11 o'clock time slot.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, you said that was a 1,500 split bond, correct?
1,500 split bond, $1,000 surety, 500 signature bond through the J.
Thank you.
Next is position 12, Mr. Fountain.
12. Okay. Christian Fountain, middle name Blake, is accused of a traffic incident stemming from March 19th, 2025, failure to yield the right-of-way to a vehicle, and driving hit and run, failure of the driver to return to or stop at the scene of the accident. Mr. Fountain, you may advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
5. On probation out of Cherokee County. Felony terrorist threats. 2025 probation. 2023 fade to appear. 2023 suspended license. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Falk, excuse me, Miss Falk. I was going to say Mr. Haddad. Sorry about that.
No worries. So, Your Honor, this did happen March 19th of 2025, so we do recognize the age of this case. However, we also have to recognize that he struck a police car and then continued to drive and leave without exchanging information. I will say that he was identified by body cam video, as well as because while the officer was moving his vehicle, the defendant fled on foot. And he was captured on body cam video, and they were also able to pull information that identified him conclusively as the defendant. The vehicle did not come back to the defendant as the owner of the vehicle. I will state that the defendant actually had a warrant at that time from the incident in Cherokee County, the terroristic threats and acts case. He did plea on that case under first offender and was given 5 years probation in April of 2024. So he did also have a probation violation that he was arrested on June 6th of 2025 out of Cherokee. So I believe it was that probation violation warrant that he was running away from when he encountered this officer. There is currently a $7,000 surety bond set on this case. We're going to ask that that surety bond remain as set for a couple of reasons. One, it was a hit and run. Two, he had an FTA in the last 2 years, well, 2.5 years, from May of 2023 out of Cherokee. And 3, he had a probation violation that he was running from. So we do think he is a flight risk, quite literally. So we are asking for $3,500 per count. And no driving without a valid license, insurance, or tag, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, Mr. Fountain is 24 years of age, Judge. He is from Cherokee County, Metro Atlanta, born and raised, Judge. He reports to me that he's married. He does he's been working, although nothing necessarily steady. Does DoorDash and also is an inspector. Does some work for AquaGuard, Judge. Judge, I mean, in all honesty, I think 7,000 is too high of a bond. He's not going to be able to post that bond. I understand there's an FTA that would restrict some of the releases. Nonetheless, Judge, I would ask the court to consider a much lower bond, if not a signature bond through pretrial services, Judge. I checked. He does not have any holds from any other counties at this point, Judge.
Okay, thank you. On the failure to yield, it's going to be 500. The hit and run is going to be 1,000. This is a 1,500 surety bond. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. And his next court date is going to be August 26th.
Position number 21, Legette.
That's my case, Judge.
All right, Ms. Murphy. Sarai Legette is case 25 CR 4642J, accused of simple battery against a police officer or detention officer. Ms. Legette, your incident date appears to be August 11th under accusation 25 CR 4642J. You've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Murphy. Any priors?
8, 2023 battery, 2018 battery DV dismissed, 2012 trespass NOD. That's it.
Thank you. And Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant currently has a $1,500 surety bond set on this case. This essentially was a verbal dispute where the officer came and tried to give the defendant multiple chances to leave the property. She kept actively refusing, and then for whatever reason went inside the house, came back out with a black substance in a small square box, and then threw a handful of it at the officer, which landed on his body and face. And at that point, she clearly was placed under arrest. The state's recommendation, I did see the 8 cycles. I saw the 2006 FTA. She doesn't appear to have any other convictions. There was a family violence battery that was dismissed back on 2025. I do not believe I don't believe it involved even the person she was arguing with, because I went back and checked, and it wasn't Mr. Riles, the person she was arguing with, who was the victim in that case. We are agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services. We are asking for a stay away from that location, which was the townhomes at Pleasant Hill. Mr. Riles wanted her to leave when she was over there, and that's what started this whole thing. So we are asking for a stay away from the townhomes at Pleasant Hill at 2500 Pleasant Hill Road. We're also asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons and 2-day anger awareness. If Your Honor wishes to give her more, I think she could use it, because this seemed to be not a good idea in general. That's all for the state.
Mr. Murphy, the bond's going to be set at $1,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. Stay away from the townhomes at Pleasant, 2500 Pleasant Hill Road. And she can return one time only with a police officer to retrieve her belongings. Within 30 days, she must provide us with a new mailing address.
Judge, I have that right now.
Okay.
She's indicated her car was disabled. She would have left. Regrettably, this other thing happened. But she resides at 2985 Forest Side Lane, College Park, Georgia, 30349.
Could you put that in the chat directly to Miss Champion, or because one of them will have to update it in an Odyssey?
And she'll certainly stay away. She indicated she had no possessions over there, but in the event that she discovers something missing, I'll remind her that she has a one-time visit, and she'll abide by the conditions and stay away. She is gainfully employed. She is from Georgia. She has 2 adult children. The city is more embarrassing than anything, and so she'll abide by the terms, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Report to pretrial once a month and maintain a current address with the clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next are positions 18 and 19. Mr. Hunter.
Maurice Hunter. Okay. Maurice Hunter is accused of battery, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass from September 27, 2024, under case number 25 CR 4643A. Mr. Hunter has a second case, 25 CR 4644A, accused of simple battery, family violence, and 2 counts of battery, family violence from July 18th, 2025. Mr. Hunter, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
5. 2023, I got a domestic battery by strangulation and battery DV on a pregnant victim. 2018 domestic battery and 1 domestic by strangulation. 2016 domestic battery conviction. That's it.
Ms. Falk? I'm sorry, you're muted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Beginning with the incident that happened in September of 2024, that was the initial incident that occurred here. We show that the incident that occurred on that date involved, and in both cases involved the same victim, Miss Hosea Alvarez. The first incident was one where she was struck in the forehead, causing a knot to form. The officer went and spoke to her, did observe the knot to her forehead. She stated that they were arguing. He was on the phone. The defendant hung up and then struck her in the forehead, and he also broke her phone. She left the apartment. A neighbor called the police, and the officers did observe that knot. On the second case, that happened July 18th of 2025. Both of them happened at the same location, which is her residence at 2124 Cheshire Bridge Road, Northeast. And the second incident, it was more severe. So the second incident, she actually ran and hid in the bathroom of the leasing office in that situation. She had a swollen lip, a bloody nose, and the defendant had begun attacking her by striking her in the face several times. This took place while her children were home. She actually had to sneak out of the apartment and go and hide in the leasing office so she could call 911. The officers did observe the bloody nose, did observe that she had a swollen lip, and the defendant had already had the active warrant out for him. They have been living together for about 6 months, and the officers could not locate the defendant. However, he is an employee of that location and has knowledge of vacant units on the site of that location, which would have made it easier for him to hide from police. We are definitely concerned in regards to this situation. We have spoken to Ms. Alvarez. She stated that she and the defendant are no longer in a relationship. They live together at the incident location and they share a child. She also stated that she confirmed the events in both warrants. She stated that those are the only 2 incidents where he has been violent toward her, and they have been living together since the July incident, and there has been no violence. She also stated she is planning to move out of the residence. I'm not sure if she has completed that process. Although she wants contact, the state does have some serious concerns here, especially because the defendant has that 2023 arrest for DV strangulation, DV on a pregnant person out of Illinois, and a 2018 conviction for domestic battery, where he received 60 days jail, as well as a 2016 domestic violence battery arrest where there was no disposition. So we have both concerns that he is not established sufficient residency in our state to have sufficient contacts, as well as a likelihood of reoffense. We are asking for a $10,000 split bond, $3,000 on each count of family violence battery, the first count of family violence battery on each case, and a $1,000 signature bond on the remaining count. So it'd be $6,000 surety, $4,000 signature. Pretrial services level 2 on the signature bond portion through pretrial services. No further contact with Hosea Alvarez. Stay away from 2124 Cheshire Bridge Road Northeast. In Atlanta, the Ayana at Cheshire Bridge. If he still is employed there, we would ask that he just stay away from the apartment where they both reside. Family Violence Intervention Program, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a third-party transfer of the children. They do have a 2-year-old child. We would at this time like to sound from Ms. Alvarez, and that's all for the state.
Josiah Alvarez, if you'd like to add to the proceedings, you would need to unmute and start your video. I have a Samsung, I have an iPhone, and the other ones do not have, say, Alvarez. Okay. Mr. Haddad?
Judge, my client is 28 years of age. He reports to me that he's been working as a maintenance technician for the last 6 years. He has been in the Atlanta area for the last 2. I don't believe the parties are married. I did not ask him. I mean, technically, unless he legitimated the child, he's technically not allowed or has rights to the child. So I think at this point, based on what Ms. Falk, what the state has presented, I understand the state's recommendation of a stay away. I've talked to my client about that possibility. My main focus, Judge, is even though he's employed, he still has limited income, and I think he's the sole provider for both himself and the mother of his child. Judge, I would ask the court to consider the same conditions, but with a signature bond in lieu of a surety.
On position 18, on the battery charge, that's going to be a $5,000 signature bond. On each, the simple battery is 2,500 and the criminal trespass is 2,500. For position 18, that's a $10,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. He'll be required to enroll in a domestic violence program, have no contact with Josiah Alvarez, have no contact with the child or children he shares with Miss Alvarez. They'll need to file a legitimation action in order to get a court order to establish visitation and custody as well as child support. If Miss Alvarez continues to reside at the Cheshire Bridge location, he shall not return to 2124 Cheshire Bridge Road in Northeast Atlanta. He will update the court with his new address within 30 days of being released on this signature bond. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. On position 19, on the simple battery, that's going to be 1,000. On count 2 is going to be 2,000. Count 3 is going to be 2,000. And this is a $5,000 cash bond only. He's to have no contact, same conditions, no contact with Miss Alvarez, to stay away from the Cheshire Bridge location, as well as no contact with the children unless he legitimates them. And his next court date is going to be August 26th. Thank you. And we'll address both cases on August 26th. Thank you.
18 is per judge due to the violent criminal history.
Thank you. Yeah.
I found this. I'm sorry, Mr. Howard, you say per judge?
For number 18, yes.
Number 18 because of his GCIC.
And Your Honor, just for clarification on one point, with the return to the residence, did you order a one-time police escort to ensure she's no longer residing there if she has vacated?
He's allowed a one-time visit to that apartment at Cheshire Bridge with a police officer to retrieve his belongings or to verify that she has vacated the premises. If she has done the second thing, then he can return to the property. Otherwise, he cannot be anywhere near that apartment complex.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case.
Next judge, I have position number 36, Ms. Watson.
Okay. Courtney with a K-K-O-R-T-N-I-E, Diane Watson, is accused of 2 counts of battery family violence and 2 counts of simple battery family violence from August 10th of this year. Ms. Watson, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
5. 2023 suspended license. 2021 theft by taking. It was dismissed after PTR. 2021 aggravated stalking dismissed. 2021 simple assault.
Conviction?
It didn't say.
Okay.
It was just shown as an arrest only.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. Let me just make sure here. 36. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1, 2. Yes, it's a $3,000 surety bond. It's $1,000 for each battery and $500 for each simple battery. This incident occurred on August 10th. Officers were dispatched to 200 Colonial Drives in reference to a dispute. When they arrived, they met with Mr. Stephen Doherty, who walked officers to his apartment unit 709. And when they entered, they made contact with the defendant. She opened the hallway door. At that time, officers Mr. Doherty told officers that the defendant had attacked him. He said he was in his bedroom and the defendant and the friend were in the apartment drinking. He exited his room to get water from the kitchen, and when he returned, the defendant began yelling at him. He closed his bedroom door, and she began yelling through the door and then kicking it until it broke open, entered the room, charged at him, and began kicking and punching him with a closed fist and pulling out his hair. He attempted to defend himself by pushing her off the bed. Officers did observe redness on his face, consistent with his narrative of being struck. We were not able to contact the defendant today, Your Honor. I'm sorry, the victim today, Your Honor, but the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, a stay away from 200 Colonial Homes Drive, no contact at all with Mr. Stephen Doherty. If the defendant needs to return to the residence, one-time police escort, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond, and we'll sound for Mr. Doherty at this time. That'll be all.
All right. Mr. Stephen Doherty. All right, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, my client is 33, but she doesn't live at Colonial Homes. It's Diamond Avenue, a certain street number, 4 digits, with a 30316 zip code. I have a stable emergency phone for her. I have her education, has passed high school. She has worked at more than 5 years in the area of business, being a director of a business organization.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stability factors here. We do understand what the prior arrests were, but Your Honor, we would ask for a signature bond consideration from the court if possible. Thank you.
On count 1 and 2 is 2,000 each. Count 3 and 4 is 1,000 each. This is going to be a 6,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. No further contact with Stephen Doherty. She's to stay away from 200 Colonial Homes Drive in Northwest Atlanta. If she doesn't live there, then there's no one-time visit. There's no reason for her to be anywhere near that location. She will enroll in a domestic violence program within 30 days of being released and complete all 24 classes. She will also not consume any illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, and be subject to random screens by pretrial for illegal drugs and alcohol. Within 30 days, she will update the court with her new mailing address. She's not allowed to own any firearms or have any around her. Yes, Ms. Watson?
I do have most of my belongings there at 200 Colonial. Am I allowed to have somebody to monitor that or get a third party to come get my belongings? Even my car's there. All my money's there. My purse is there. I was actually living with him and also renting my other place at 1318.
Mr. McLean, I thought you said she wasn't living there.
She told me that it was Diamond Avenue 30316. There's no, unless she needs to send a third party, there's no reason.
I was living there and also living at my other place. I was paying rent for both places.
All right. You're not going to go back to Colonial Homes Drive. Not at all. No one-time visit. None. A third party can go and retrieve your car, but they cannot enter the property, the apartment. Thank you.
Right.
Next court date is August 26, excuse me. No, this is further notice because this is a signature bond.
What's that total bond?
2, 4, 5, and 6. So it's 2 and 2, 1 and 1.
What's the level?
Level 2. Random screens, DVIP, no contact, and stay away.
Yeah, sorry about that. Somebody knocking on the door. I had to step away.
Okay. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 31, Mr. Shepard.
Joshua Joel Shepard's accused of theft of services and giving false information to an officer. The theft of services appears to be August 9th of this year, and giving false information appears to be August 11th of this year. I guess it's arising from the same series of transactions. Mr. Shepard, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors?
I got it first.
Okay. And Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. You're correct about those dates. I think that the investigators wrote up the warrant for the false information afterwards because they weren't able to actually identify the defendant until they placed him under arrest. So yeah, Your Honor, the state's recommendation here is a $2,000 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from the Kempton Hotel, which is located at 2 Porsche Drive in Hapeville, Georgia. No contact at all with staff, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. On August, on August 9th, officers responded to a theft call. They arrived at the location and they met with staff at the hotel who informed them that the defendant was in a room that was supposed to be unoccupied at the time. The room was actually held as a part of blocked off rooms for Frontier Airlines. They did make contact with the defendant. He stated that he actually got access to the room through another friend, and pretty much was arguing back and forth that he was supposed to be there because staff gave him a key when he went to get a key from the desk. Officers determined at the scene that the amount of services for the days he stayed in the room would be $636. And the defendant said that he would pay it. He was waiting on someone to come and bring him his wallet, but he did not pay for the services. He also informed officers that his name was Joshua Shepard and his date of birth was 12/29/23. Officers, and he kept being evasive about where his license was from because he didn't have it on his person. So he told officers his ID was from Florida. That didn't return any hits. He told them it was from South Carolina, and that didn't return any hits. When they found his ID in his pocket is when they found his actual date of birth to be 12/29/2025. And they found that once they placed him under arrest. And again, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond.
Mr. McLean?
Well, Your Honor, he wasn't born in 2023 or 2025. He was born in 2005 in Charleston, South Carolina.
I'm sorry if I said 2023.
Right, I understand. Your Honor, a great misunderstanding and confusion here, Your Honor. His girlfriend told him she was going to pay for his hotel room. He misunderstood how many days it was paid for. And so there were 2 days at the end of the stay period that were not paid for. And he tried to call her, but they arrested him before she got in touch with him. And so it was a big old mess. He intends to pay for it, or she intends to pay for it. Your Honor, he has worked in retail. He's worked in restaurants. He's a high school graduate. His girlfriend has a Hampton, Georgia address, so that would be a Georgia connection. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond. Thank you.
On the theft of services, that's going to be a $700 cash bond. On the giving false information, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Next court date is August 26th. Stay away from the Kimpton Hotel at 2 Porsche Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you. ACDC, who do we have?
This is going to be position number 38, Williams.
Danielle Rose Williams is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence from August 12th and August 13th of this year. Accusation 25 CR 4689Y. Ms. Williams, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Murphy. Thank you.
Your Honor, this is a co-defendant case with position 34, which is Ms. Dodson. If you'd like to do them at the same time.
I could. Is there a Courtland J. Thornson at ACDC or courtroom 2? Courtland Thornson? No, they don't seem to be in either courtroom. So let's proceed with Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Oh, you waiting on me?
Yes.
Fifth arrest, 2020 reckless driving conviction. History consists of drinking-related arrests. For the most part, I didn't see any violence.
Drinking related, like DUI, disorderly conduct.
Furnishing alcohol below, all that.
What was that?
Furnishing alcohol below legal age, possession.
Okay. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred from August 12th. Officers responded to 1207 Jameson Pass in report to domestic disturbance. The call was actually made from someone who could hear screaming coming from the defendant's unit. So officers made contact. They knocked at the door. The defendant, Ms. Williams, opened the door. Her face was red and she was crying. Her right ear was bleeding. Officers asked what happened. She said, "Do you see my face?" And she explained to officers that her and her living girlfriend were in an altercation. She told officers she struck first. There was conflicting stories on the scene. The Officers did notice injuries on both parties. They placed both of them under arrest, and we were not able to determine the primary aggressor, Your Honor. The state's recommendation here is a $1,500 surety bond, no contact with Courtland Thornson. We're not really sure whose name the residence is in, but we're sure that they'll need to sort that out. So we are open to no violent contact, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. And I just want to state, Your Honor, their charges are the same, so the state's recommendation is the same.
Okay. Francois, do you have a Courtland Thornson with you?
What is the last name, Judge?
Thornsen, position 34.
I'm checking, Judge.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Murphy, you represent Miss Williams?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And on the battery is going to be 2,000. On the simple battery is 500. A bond is 2,500. Signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No violent contact with Courtland Thornson, Thonsen. She can return to the Alpharetta home at Jameson Pass if she wants to, but if she decides to move out, make sure that we get the first notice of her change of address within 30 days of being released. She is to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and complete all 24 classes. She must enroll in those classes within 30 days of being released, and she reports to pretrial once a month. If she gets arrested again, her signature bond will be revoked. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge. Can you please repeat the bond?
2,500. Signature bond through pretrial level 1. No violent contact, DVIP.
Judge, take the great court. She'll be residing at another address in Johns Creek.
Okay. So within 30 days of being released, she'll come down to the clerk's office and provide that new address in writing.
Yes, Judge, and she is gainfully employed at a prominent shopping center in North Fulton County. She's been there for quite a few years, so
okay.
She'll obey the direction of the court. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge, we do actually have her, so we'll go get her, and then she can be interviewed by McLean. Thank you.
Thank you. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 40, Mr. Williams.
This is Warren Williams. Just want to be sure we have quite a few Williams down here. Courtroom 2, was that Warren Williams?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Warren Williams' case number is 25 CR 4653A. Incident date appears to be August 11th of this year. Offenses are 2 counts of battery family violence, 2 counts of simple battery family violence. Mr. Williams, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
32. Open theft of lost mislaid property out of the cab, 2025. 2024 battery DV. 23 failure to appear. 2023 failure to in relation to a CWAC charge. 2010 battery DV NOLO, and that CWAC was from 2007 conviction.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 11th. Officers were dispatched to 1950 Rockmill Road in regards to a domestic dispute. When they were there, they spoke with the defendant, who stated he was cleaning his room because he's the only person that cleans. And while he was cleaning, he got in an argument with his mother-in-law because he was cleaning aggressively and throwing things. So she became upset with him, and he told him not to touch her things. And it was just a verbal argument. That's what he informed officers. So officers asked him how come he had scratches on his neck and how did he get injured, and he stated he was unsure. Then he stated that the victim jumped on him and caused a scuffle. So officers spoke with Miss Arista Barisa, who is the victim in this case. She is the defendant's mother-in-law, and they spoke with his wife. His wife stated her husband had never been physical with his mom before, but was having withdrawals from narcotics and was acting strangely. Miss Arisa stated she was lying in the bed watching a movie, and out of nowhere, the defendant approached her and spit on her. She stood up to confront him, and when she did that, he began fighting her. He punched her multiple times in her face. She was protecting herself with her arms, and he continued punching her. He punched her in the arm several times as well. And he didn't stop attacking her until his wife actually pulled him off of her. She did tell officers at the time that he had never physically attacked her before, but he has had domestic disputes with his wife, Miss Elena, in the past. And officers did observe redness, swelling, and a scratch under Miss Arisa's eye. Her lip was also busted and bloody. The state's recommendation in light of the defendant's prior criminal history and his prior violent criminal history is a $3,000 surety bond, no contact with Miss Arisa Barisa, a stay away from the incident location. And again, Your Honor, this happened on the 11th, so at least for a sufficient cooling off period, an ADET, completion of an FVIP, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. It will sound for Miss Barisa at this time. That'll be all for.
Orisa Barisa, if you want to contribute, you need to unmute and start your video. Okay, Mr. Murphy? Oh, sorry, Mr. McLean, excuse me.
And let me confirm the incident address again, please.
It is, I didn't write it
I have
down.
1950 Rock Mill Road. It's an extended stay.
Okay, Unit 113. I understand. Very good. Thank you. Your Honor, he's 44 years old. He's been in Georgia for many years, so he's a local person with plenty of local ties. That is his address, that Alpharetta address. Your Honor, he's worked in warehouses and he's worked as a driver for DoorDash as well, so he's very industrious. He asked the court to consider the lowest possible bond. If a surety bond if a signature bond could be obtained, that would be great. But if that's impossible, we would ask the court for the lowest possible surety. Thank you.
Okay. He did not appear for his final plea calendar. He has failure to appear in an underlying case, 23 CR 0014818. 2 counts of battery family violence. And this new case, so unfortunately, he's disqualified for signature bond due to his failure to appear. On count 1, battery family violence, that's going to be $1,500. Count 2 is going to be $1,000. Same thing for count 3, $1,500, and count 4 is $1,000. This is going to be a total of a $5,000 surety bond. No further contact with Orisa Barisa. He's to stay away from 1950 Rock Mill Road in that entire, hotel or motel called the Extended Stay. He is allowed a one-time visit to that hotel room to retrieve his belongings. But after that, he needs to stay away from that location and stay away from Miss Barisa. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And his next court date is going to be August 26th. And we will transfer both cases to SAP, including the 23 CR 0014818. Thank you.
Judge, next I have position number 22, but before we do that, I have a quick announcement for Mr. McLean. Are you ready to interview position number 30?
Ms. Thornson?
Yes, position 34.
Well, definitely.
Okay, we'll give you a call shortly.
Thank you.
And it's going to be position number. This is Mickerson, position number 22.
Okay. Zariana Christine Murkison has a incident from June 18th, 2024. Her case number is 25 CR 4645Y. There are 2 counts of battery, 1 count of criminal trespass, and 3 counts of simple battery, for a total of 6 misdemeanor charges. Ms. Murkison, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Second. Open case out of Clayton County. Battery DV, simple battery, family violence, and a regular battery. It's from 2023.
All right. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On June 18th of 2024, officers were dispatched to 526 Ponce de Leon, which is a McDonald's, in reference to a physical dispute. They met with the victim, Ms. Cora Johnson, who was visibly bleeding from a scratch on her face. She is employed at the McDonald's location there, and she informed officers that the defendant was working for DoorDash and came to pick up an order that morning at around 7:15. She snatched the order out of Ms. Johnson's hand, and Ms. Johnson asked her to not come back to the location. The defendant returned about 45 minutes later to pick up another order, and Ms. Johnson refused to serve her. So she started to get aggressive. She told Ms. Johnson that she had her messed up. She walked out of the store and came back into the store 4 times, demanding the order. When she came back in the last time, she walked around the service counter and pushed Ms. Johnson. And a physical altercation ensued where she was scratching Ms. Johnson and pulling her hair. She had someone else with her, subsequently entered the restaurant with a small child, put the child down on the counter, and began to make threats to staff. The McDonald's staff was able to provide officers with the tag number of the vehicle, and they were able to subsequently follow the direction of the vehicle via camera after the incident. And that's how they ended up contacting the owner of the vehicle to see if he was the one, the male who entered the location. And he informed them that he had let his granddaughter, the defendant, and he identified her, use the car. So officers contacted him the day after this incident. So he informed them that she used the car the day prior, and gave them the information. They were able to pull up her picture, and Ms. Johnson confirmed that it was her who assaulted her. She stated, we did speak with her. She stated she does not know the defendant. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated she still works at the location. She wants no contact with the defendant and would like for her to stay away from the McDonald's. Our recommendation, Your Honor, is a $4,500 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each battery in the criminal trespassing charge. $500 for each simple battery, a stay away from the McDonald's at 526 Ponce de Leon Avenue, no contact with staff there or Ms. Cora Johnson, completion of a 5-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. Will sound for Ms. Johnson at this time, Your Honor.
Cora Johnson, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Please unmute and please start your video.
What do you mean by start the video?
Well, the only thing I can see is a blank screen with the name iPhone and your voice. There we go.
Okay, hi.
Hi, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Remove your hat. You are in a courtroom. Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. What would you like to tell us?
I just pretty much they summed it up with I just want her to stay away. I don't know her at all. She was a dasher, but to come to find out, she really wasn't the dasher whose name was on the order. They be dashing up under other people's name. And I just feel like she's very violent. She's very aggressive. And, she had no reason to come behind the counter by no means, just pretty much just want her to stay away because I've been there 25 years and never had an incident prior to her coming to the location and assaulting me and my whole staff.
All right. I'm sorry. What's your position at that location?
I'm an assistant manager.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. If you can switch your video off and mute your screen. Thank you. Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, my client is 26 years of age, does different types of work, including DoorDash, also does housekeeping, is born and raised in the Atlanta area, Judge. The pretrial report that I received says that she's eligible for UGR2. obviously a stay away is a no-brainer from the location, Judge. They're strangers. I'm not going to address the facts of the case, but I would just ask the court to consider a much lower bond than the state's recommendation, Judge.
Okay. Count 1 is going to be $1,000. Count 2 is 500, and count 3 is 500. This is going to be a $2,000 surety bond. Count 4 is 500, count 5 is 500, and count 6 is 500. And that's going to be a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. This is going to be a total of 3,500 split bond. Once she posts the $2,000 surety bond, she will then be released on a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3, which means that she visits pretrial once a week. She's to have no contact with Cora Johnson and the folks working at the McDonald's restaurant at 526 Ponce de Leon Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. She's to stay 200 yards away from that restaurant, including the parking lot, the sidewalks, and definitely the drive-through and the restaurant itself. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And while she is out on a pretrial bond, she will not consume no alcohol and no weapons. And if she violates the conditions of this bond, or if she gets arrested again, or if she fails to appear in court, the signature portion of her bond will be revoked. Thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize. The total amount for the surety portion is how much? Did the court say?
2,000.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Her judge.
Yeah, I know, because of our open battery case. Thank you.
Next is position 32, Mr. Smith, Timothy.
Okay.
That's my case, Judge.
All right, Mr. Murphy. Timothy Smith is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery. Incident date is June 28th of this year. Case is 25 CR 4681D. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Dennis Murphy. Any priors?
I saw a 2014 carrying weapon without a license, and that was dismissed.
Miss Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on June 28th of 2025. Jamari Smith, the victim, called 911 to report a fight between him and his brother who lived together. He was actually at the Chevron when he made the call. The incident location is 1072 Dover's Alley. He informed officers as he was sitting on the parking lot of the building. He had on shorts and no shirt or shoes. He stated that he got into an argument with his brother about having a job. It became physical, and his brother punched him in the left eye with a closed fist, and made him pretty much leave the home without a cell phone, shoes, or shirt, or proper clothing for the weather. And he was at a gas station and got somebody to let him use their phone to call 911. He did have a visible injury to his eye and cuts and scratches on his arms and back. He did inform officers, though, that he punched through a window at the time of the attack. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, stay away from the incident location, no contact with Mr. Jamari Smith, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. In Your Honor, we did not get a chance to speak with Mr. Smith today, so that's why the state's recommendation is no contact and a stay away. But we'll sound for Mr. Smith anyway, and that'll be all for the state.
Jamari Smith, if you want to add to the proceedings, please unmute and start your video. All right. Mr. Murphy, so I'm a little confused. The address in question is 1072 Dover's Alley.
Yes, Judge, that must be where he was calling from, because my client lives at another address called Dargan Place. And my client resided with and still resides there with his fiance. This is just another example of doing a good deed and paying the price for it. My client allowed his younger brother to reside there for about a week or so to maybe introduce him to some sober living, and things decided to go horribly wrong. My client merely wanted him to try sober living. He would not do that. My client did not ask him to leave or anything. The alleged victim then proceeded to punch his way through a window to try to retrieve possessions that he all he had to do was ask for the possessions.
Let me
And-
ask you this. Does he still live with Mr. Timothy Smith?
No, we
All
don't
right.
have no idea where Jamari is at. And my client is a armed security guard.
So on the battery family violence, it's going to be 1,500. On the simple battery, it's going to be 500. This is going to be a $2,000 signature bond for pretrial level 1. I'll allow for telephonic reporting. The problem is the firearm. It's a domestic violence situation. He would need to let his employer know that this is an open case against him. And if he gets it resolved, then obviously he can start using his firearm. But until then, he has to either return it to the employer for safekeeping or surrender it to the authorities for destruction because he's not allowed to have a firearm.
Duly noted, Judge. Thank you again.
Okay, maintain a good address and no violent contact with Jamari Smith.
Yes, Judge. Thank you. Mr. Smith, I'll be in touch with your fiance.
Next, Judge, I have position number 35, Tiller.
Oh, and yeah, still, Mr. Murphy, that was level 1 reporting. I'm allowing telephonic reporting. So did you note that?
I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, Francois, what's the name, please?
35, Ms. Tiller.
Okay. Latoria Tiller is accused of simple battery from August 12th of this year, 25 CR 4682A. Ms. Tiller, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean, Mr. Haddad, who represents Latoria Tiller. Mr. McLean, is that your client?
Judge, I think
Yes,
it's
it
a
is,
conflict case.
Mr.
No, this
Murphy?
is McLean. This is McLean.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
got 7 cases. That's not it.
Okay.
That's McLean's case. It looked like he's froze.
No, he's not frozen. Mr. McLean, can you hear me, sir?
He looked froze.
All righty. My audio is off. I'm trying to log in. No, he's not frozen. His audio was off. Otherwise, I really need to change my glasses in that case. Okay,
I
so
mean, he wasn't moving.
that's a good job. Okay.
Boy.
Francois, Mr. McLean is trying to log back in. I think he needs
Okay.
to.
They can do, you guys can do courtroom too, Judge. No problem.
Okay, thank you. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 25, Mr. Maurice.
Okay. Leon Bernard Morris II.
Sorry,
with a
Judge. One moment. That was Mr. McLean's client as well. There he is.
Oh, Mr. McLean is back. Okay. All right. If you can tell Mr. Morris to hang tight. Miss Tiller, Mr. McLean, do you represent Miss Tiller? Could you please unmute Mr. McLean? Mike McLean, can you hear me, sir? All right. I think Mr. McLean needs to fix his audio issues. Do we have anyone who's not represented by Mr.
I can go to position 5, Mr. Bush.
Okay.
Case, Judge.
Jeremy Bush is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence from August 12th of this year. Case 25 CR 4669J. Mr. Bush, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Haddad. Oh, sorry, Mr. Murphy, Dennis Murphy. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
14. Last arrest was in April. Simple assault, family violence. 2023 reckless driving conviction. 22 battery DV, cruelty in the 3rd, dead docket. 2015 2 counts of ag assault, possession of a firearm by first offender probationer. Possession of a firearm during the commission, of criminal damage to property, first-degree conviction. That's all I want to rest.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is, and I will say the victim on this case, Miss Carol Smith, was also arrested. She is currently on the felony calendar. This incident happened at the Wyndham Hotel at 3405 Lenox Road Northeast. The officers were called out to a report of shots fired. When they met with the Miss Carol Smith, she stated the defendant had been physically assaulting her throughout the day. She had fresh scratches and abrasions on her chest and right arm, and they are currently in a relationship at this time. She did fire a gun, which is why, and I believe she's charged with aggravated assault. However, in looking at the history of this defendant, I saw a pretty pervasive and pretty violent history that includes that 2015 conviction under 15 SC 132892 for 2 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a first offender, 2 counts of possession of a firearm during a felony, 1 count of criminal damage in the first degree, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the third degree. He's currently on a 26-year sentence on that case, 26 served 1. The first 5 years, I believe, were under active probation, and the remaining time has been on suspended probation. Based on his history, which includes that case, we are asking for a $5,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $2,000 on the simple battery family violence, no further contact with Carol Smith, stay away from her work or home, stay away from the Wyndham Hotel located at 3405 Lenox Road Northeast in Atlanta, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We're also going to ask for a family violence and intervention program, as there is a history of violence here in his recent history. That's all for the state. We would like to sound for Carol Smith if she has been released at this time.
Did y'all ever accuse the incident from April 8th, 2025?
Your Honor, hold on, let me go back and look.
He was booked on April 8th and he was released on a $2,000, either a surety bond or a cash bond.
Let me go back and look and see what which case Your Honor is referring to. And
I only got a case number 25-2192.
25-2192. Okay, I can get back with Your Honor on that, and I'll let Mr. McLean take it, his argument from here.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
Judge, that's my case.
Oh, Mr. Murphy, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
Judge, my client has no children with this alleged victim. Did not work with the alleged victim. My client has a hauling company, a cleanup and delivery service. He is 31 years old. The co-defendant in this case, or cross-defendant, Carol Smith, was incarcerated. I believe she still is incarcerated. We'd ask for a reasonable bond. The address that he has is the address on the warrant, and I don't believe she's residing there any further. And we would ask just for a reasonable bond under the circumstances. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He does have employment and ties to the area.
Okay, I've got an address for Rhine Hill. Is that where he lives?
Yes, that's the address on the warrant, and that's where he resides. And
but not at the Wyndham Hotel.
No, he was there for work purposes, and someone followed him there, and then a dispute ensued.
Okay.
Your Honor, and just to kind of follow up with Your Honor's question, I'm not sure how this happened because it was a family violence offense, but it looks like the defendant bonded out before the case ever went to first appearance. We have not had an opportunity to provide this case a number and to accuse it. But yes, he was released on a simple battery family violence charge back in April of 2025, where Miss Smith was the alleged victim again, that he threw her to the ground, causing a bruise on her knee. So technically that will be a family violence battery charge that we will move forward with. As I said, based on his history alone, I do believe the defendant was the predominant aggressor, which is why my bond recommendation reflected that. This warrant that he bonded out on in April just confirms what I already believe to be true.
On the battery family violence, count 1, that's a $3,000 surety. Count and 2 is going to be 1,000. This is a $4,000 surety. No further contact with Carol Smith. He's to stay 200 yards away from her and not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. He's to stay away from the Wyndham Hotel at Lenox Road in Northeast Atlanta. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And his next court date is going to be August 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next, Judge, I have position number 35, Tiller.
Okay. Mr. McLean, how are we doing?
He's
If you
muted.
can unmute Mr. McLean.
My audio for hearing y'all was messed up, so I just logged in on my laptop instead.
All
So
right,
it
sir.
seems to be doing well.
We have position 35, Latoria Tiller, accused of simple battery, accusation 25-4682A. And Mr. Howard, any priors?
4. 2019 FTO. 2019 simple battery DV, PTI, and a 2017 shoplifting conviction.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This case has a preset surety bond of $1,500. The state's recommendation is that this incident occurred from August 11th. Officers responded to a possible fight at 80 Jesse Hill Drive Northeast, which is Grady Hospital. Officer Jones intervened with the fight and tried to break it up. Both of the suspects subsequently ended up striking him, and both of them spit on him, causing saliva to land in his face. And that's how this arrest came about. The state's recommendation, again, is a $1,500 surety bond. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and stay away from Grady Hospital unless there's a medical emergency. And that'll be all for the state.
All right. Mr. McLean, this is going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2, to stay away from the Grady Hospital unless they have appointment with a specific provider or seeking emergency treatment. No violent contact with any of the staff or law enforcement at the hospital. Next court date will be, oh, she's already disappeared? Okay. Next court date will be sent to her current address. She'll need to report to pretrial twice a month. If she gets arrested again, remember to bring $2,500 with her.
Very good. Thank you.
Got position 25, Mr. Morris, second.
It says both junior and second. He says the correct designation is second, not junior.
Okay.
It's actually got both of them on the calendars.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Okay. Leon Bernard Morris II is accused of battery family violence and simple battery family violence from August 11th of this year, case 25 CR 4688E. Mr. Morris, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. Mr. Howard, any priors?
7. 2016 failure to appear. 2016 violation of family violence order conviction. 06 battery dismissed.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On August 11th, officers responded to 778 Magnolia Way Northeast in Atlanta in reference to a shots fired call. When they got there, they spoke with Miss Kimora Lewis, who is the mother of the victim here. The victim is Mr. Leon Bernard III, so we'll call him Trey. That's his nickname. She informed officers that the defendant and the son, Trey, got in an altercation inside the apartment. And at the time, officers observed Mr. Morris and Miss Shamaria Sadeh leaving the apartment, who was a witness to this. But the pair began arguing. Officers asked if shots had been fired. The defendant stated that no shots were fired. He told officers, dispatched that to get officers to come to the scene quicker. But essentially, while officers were at the scene investigating this incident, they received multiple reports from a short distance, really at the MARTA station of a person who was calling emergency dispatch saying that they had been shot. So Ms. Lewis explained that their son Trey and their 13-year-old son live in the house there. She was having trouble with them. She called the defendant over to the house to deal with his son, and things just escalated. At some point, the defendant pushed his son Trey through a glass window, and that's what subsequently and began striking him apparently, and that's what subsequently made Trey leave the scene. So when officers arrived at the incident, he was not there. Officers did investigate the scene because they did have reports of the son having a gun in the house. They were able to locate the defendant's gun and ultimately dispel that shots had been fired. So they were not able to confirm that any shots had been fired. They were not able to confirm that any shots had been fired from the gun that the defendant had. We did speak to Ms. Lewis, who is the victim's mother. She stated that her son did sustain serious injuries, requiring him to get stitches. There was glass embedded in his back, and they believe that he was shot in his thigh. But again, we were not able to confirm that. In the event that we will transfer this case. But she would like no contact with the defendant. She wants him to stay away from the residence. And subsequently, the state is asking for no contact with the defendant's, with the victim, which would include Trey and the defendant's other son. Stay away from the incident location, which is 778 Magnolia Way. And for bond, we're asking for $2,000 surety bond. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol, and completion of a 5-day anger awareness course. And that'll be all for this.
Okay. And Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, we agree. I mean, the anger awareness class is not inappropriate. The stay away address is no problem because he lives on Wedgefield in Decatur. He's a construction supervisor, Your Honor. He's 43 years old. Under these circumstances, with the appropriate conditions such as that class, we would ask the court to give him a signature bond. Thank you.
Okay. On count 1 is going to be $2,500, and that's going to be a surety bond. On count 2, and that's going to be a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. His total bond is a $5,000 split bond. No further contact with Kamora Lewis and I guess Trey Morris. Is that correct?
That's correct, John.
All right. To stay away from 778 Magnolia Way, he will update the court with his new mailing address within 30 days of being released. He will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released, and he will attend and complete all 24 classes at his expense. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and he'll be subject to random screens. Furthermore, he's not allowed to own, possess, or have any firearms. He's not allowed to have them on his person, in his home, in any vehicle he occupies, or anywhere near him. His next court date is going to be August 26th.
Position number 34, Sensen.
Courtland Thornson is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence involving Danielle Rose Williams. Her incident date was August 12, 2025. Ms. Thornson, your case number is 25 CR 004679Y. Your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean, and based on the information that we have already received after addressing Ms. Williams' case, I'm going to set your bond similarly. And for the battery family violence, it's going to be $2,000. For the simple battery, it's going to be $500. It's going to be a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. You will report to pretrial once a month. No violent contact with Danielle Rose Williams. You may return to the incident location, and within 30 days of being released, you will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and attend and complete all 24 classes at your expense. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry, you said no violent contact?
No violent contact. I think I had the same thing for Miss Rose.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. We're completed here at ACDC.
All right, thank you.
Next is position 28, Mr. Ross.
Deputy, all those folks who are in the courtroom, do I need to advise them of their rights?
Mr. Ross heard his, but everyone else needs to, so yes, ma'am.
All right, let me just go ahead and complete that. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Lal, and we are going to be addressing the misdemeanor cases that have been brought against each one of you who is seated in courtroom 2. These are new arrests, and your cases have been formally accused. Please remember, when I address your case on a one-on-one basis, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney if you cannot afford one of the attorneys from the Public Defender's Office or the Conflict Defense List will be representing you. Today, I will let you know what is your case number, the charges brought against you, your new court date, which will be August 26th, unless you are released, and what your bond is going to be. Okay, so Alfonso Jamal Ross is accused of 3 counts of willful obstruction of an officer and 1 count of theft by taking from August 11th, 2025. Mr. Ross, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
No.
Miss Harrison, what's the recommendation?
The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $4,000 surety bond, which is $1,000 for each count, a stay away from the incident location, which is 30 Alabama Street, no contact at all with Daniel Williams, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol by on bond. And this event occurred from an August 11th theft of an electrical bike that was taken off a rack after it was secured with a combination lock at the MARTA 5 Points train station. Officers did observe the defendant on video with another suspect carrying tools and subsequently carrying the bike out of the station. And that'll be all for the state.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he is 33, high school education, has worked in pest control and also in unarmed security. I understand the state's request has those obstruction counts, Your Honor. But since it is his first offense and he is local and has stability and works, we would ask the court. He has a Rex, Georgia address. With all the stability and community contact figures, there's no reason to think he's going to miss court.
Is he going back to Rex?
Well, Canterbury Trail and Rex. Rex is local. It's basically south of the airport.
I thought it was south of Macon.
It's in Clayton County.
It's in Clayton County.
All right.
You can throw a rock and hit it. So, Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider a signature bond.
Count 1 is going to be 500. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. Count 3 is 500. Count 4 is 500. That's a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. Stay 200 yards away from 30 Alabama Street, which pretty much keeps him away from the 5 Points MARTA station and the underground. No further contact with, was it Danielle or David Williams?
Williams.
David Williams, okay. Daniel, okay, Daniel Williams. And if he gets arrested again, or if he doesn't report to pretrial once a month, his signature bond will be revoked. Maintain a current address with the court and report when summoned. Thank you.
Next is position 27, Mr. Purcell.
That's my case, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Justin Anthony Purcell. Case number is 25 CR 004686B. Mr. Purcell, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean.
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Purcell has 8 misdemeanor offenses brought against him. Let's begin with 2 counts of battery family violence, 1 count of simple battery family violence, 2 counts of cruelty in the 3rd degree, 1 count of failure to obey a traffic control device, 1 count of hit and run, failure of the driver to return to the scene of the accident, and 1 count of driving on the wrong side of the road. Mr. Howard, any prize?
7. On probation out of car for DUI. 2017 obstruction, NOLO. That's it.
Miss Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 11th, on Roswell Road. Officers were en route to the CVS at 7355 Roswell Road. They had reports that there had been a couple there fighting. When they got there, they were informed that the couple had left in a dark colored Toyota. So officers began canvassing the area for the vehicle. They found it. I'm sorry. And while they were doing that, the victim, Ms. Denisha Gonzalez, called 911 and advised dispatchers that she was involved in a domestic dispute. So officers were able to do a SOS ping and find her location. They met with Ms. Gonzalez and she advised them that the defendant had punched her in the mouth and her shoulders multiple times. She informed officers that he was under the influence of alcohol. He had just hit a vehicle in the CVS parking lot where the call was originally called. She told officers that the defendant tried to leave the scene because he had prior convictions for being arrested for driving under the influence. But she stated that they were in the parking lot and she received a phone call from an unknown person. She didn't answer the call, and that infuriated the defendant, and he began demanding to know who it was, and she wouldn't respond, and he became enraged and began to strike her multiple times. While he was doing this, there were 2 minor children in the car, ages 1 year old and 3 years old, who witnessed the incident. Ms. Gonzalez had visible bruises on her upper lip and she was bleeding. We did speak to the victim today. She stated that her and the defendant are no longer in a relationship. They no longer live together and they share 1 child together. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated that this is the first time police have been called due to violence between the two. She wishes to have no contact and wants him to stay away from her residence or any of her family's residence. And she's agreeable to a 3rd-party transfer of the child. I don't believe she's joined us in court today, but the state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $4,500 surety bond, which is $1,000 for each battery, $500 for the simple battery, and $1,000 for each cruelty. And for the driving offenses, we are asking for signature bonds there, so it would be a split bond. And of course, no contact with the victim, a stay away from all of her residence location, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And we will sound for Ms. Gonzalez just in the event that she's joined.
Denisha Gonzalez, if you'd like to address the court, this is the time to unmute and start your video. All right. And Mr. Murphy, you represent Mr. Purcell, is that correct, or was it Mr. McLean?
I represent him, Your Honor.
All right. And what's your recommendation?
Judge, the client grew up in Georgia. Is a native of Gwinnett County.
Mhm.
Does have a stable employment in the Sandy Springs area, where he has been a assistant manager at a restaurant. He does reside at an address in Sandy Springs, which it may have been noted in the paperwork.
He doesn't live in Snellville then?
He does not. That's where he grew up. He could return with his parents if needed, but he had a Jefferson Drive location in Sandy Springs, which he indicated that was his apartment.
Does he reside with Miss Gonzalez and the children?
I believe they were residing together at the time.
And are those his children?
I believe
One of them, Your Honor, they share one
One
child.
of them? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Murphy?
We would just ask for a reasonable bond under the circumstances. My client, we would only assert that he was not driving at the time of this incident, but we'd ask for a reasonable bond on the charges.
All right. On count 1, battery family violence is going to be $2,000. Cruelty count 2 is 500. Cruelty count 3 is 500. I'm going to jump over to the next count on battery family violence, and that's going to be 1,000. And the simple battery family violence is 1,000. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a $5,000 surety bond. On the failure to obey signs or control devices, that's going to be 1,500. On the hit and run, that's 1,500. And driving on the wrong side of the road, that's 1,500. And that's going to be a 4,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. He will report to pretrial services once a week. He is to have no contact with Danisha Gonzalez, no contact with her children, including the child that he shares with Ms. Gonzalez. He can file a legitimation case and obtain a court order to get joint visitation and custody. He is not to consume any illegal drugs. He's not to consume any alcoholic beverages, and he's not allowed to own or possess any firearms. He will be subject to random screens by pretrial for alcohol and or illegal drugs. He will enroll in a domestic violence program within 30 days of being released and complete all 24 classes at his expense. He will also update the court with his new address within 30 days of being released, because he's not allowed to reside with Ms. Gonzalez due to the no contact. So if Snellville is going to be his new address, he'll need to make sure that that's the address where we will send his next court summons. So this is a total of a 9,500 split bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Murphy, you have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Excuse me, Judge, do we have the victim's address?
I'm assuming it's in Sandy Springs, but I don't have the address.
I'll share it with Miss Grace. She didn't want it publicized.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. Is Miss Grace, are you doing the okay. I didn't know who was hosting.
Yes, it's me, the litigation manager, Judge.
Okay, so all documents, all communication will be with Miss Melissa Grace. Thank you. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 1, Ayana.
Did you say 2?
Number 1.
Number 1,
Sorry.
Your Honor.
Jason Yoma Ayana is accused of theft by taking from August 11th of this year, 25 CR 4636C. Mr. Ayana, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
2023 harassment phone call and trespass. 2013 failure to appear.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. You'll just give me a moment. I'm dealing with multiple screens. This incident happened back on July 14th of 2025. The defendant took an e-bike that belonged to Erica Mendoza Diaz. The incident was captured on the MARTA cameras, it looks like, and the defendant was seen walking past the bike, examining it, and then unhooking it from the locking mechanism and riding away with the bike, leaving the lock behind. We did not have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Mendoza Diaz. We are seeing that he has 13 cycles, in particular 2009 and 2013 FTA. I do not believe I saw any theft offenses previously. There is a $1,000 surety bond set on this case. We're asking that the bond remain as set. No further contact with Erica Mendoza Diaz. Stay away from MARTA. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state.
All right. Mr. Haddad?
Honor, Ms. Ayana is from the Atlanta area, Judge, born and raised. He's currently unemployed, 41 years of age, Judge. He's done construction and landscaping in the past. My concern, Judge, is due to his limited income that he will not be able to make bond. But as respect for request the court to consider releasing him through pretrial services.
All right. 41 10th Street, is that the Civic Center station or the
I
one
believe
that's
so,
right on
Judge.
10th Street, next to the
I
Rocky
believe it's
Mitchell
civics.
Civic, okay. With regards to Mr. Ayana, the bond's going to remain the same at $1,000 surety to stay away from the MARTA location at 41 10th Street or in accordance with any MARTA suspension that he presently has. No further contact with Erica Diaz or Eric Mendoza Diaz, and his next court date is going to be August 26th.
And Your Honor, I noticed that too. I looked at several documents and they all said Erica, so I left it alone. But I
Okay.
did notice the discrepancy between the name and the individual's assigned gender in the warrant.
Okay, thank you. Next case, please.
Position 7, Mr. Coleman. Come on, man.
Eric Coleman's accused of simple battery, family violence, and simple battery, case 25 CR 4670G from August 2nd of this year. Mr. Coleman, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
No.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. We did have an opportunity to speak with both of the victims in this case. The first victim, who is Miss McGee, just to refresh Your Honor's recollection, that is the victim he was alleged to have pushed. They have a child together. She stated that they do not live together, they do share a child, and they are not in a relationship. And this incident location was his mother's residence. She stated she does not live there. They were in a verbal altercation, and she claims the altercation did not turn physical, which was contradicted by the other victim in this case. She stated that they have been in contact since this incident, which happened on April 2nd of 2025, and she is not in fear if the defendant wants to continue contact. The other victim, Miss Tyresha Jones, we also spoke to her. She stated she and the defendant are cousins. They do not live together. She stated that the altercation began between the defendant and Miss McGee first, that the defendant was yelling in Miss McGee's face and grabbing on her. She stated that Miss McGee then screamed for help. She came in to intervene. The defendant did not like that and ended up slapping her in the face and knocking her glasses off. She stated that there has been violence in the past with this defendant, but this is the first time that police have been called. And she stated she did not call the police during this incident. It was actually the neighbors, and she has not been in contact with the defendant since this happened approximately 11 days ago. She is also okay with no further violent contact. We are asking for this is his first arrest. We are asking for a $4,000 split bond, $2,000 signature through pretrial services level 2, and a $2,000 surety bond. No further violent contact with Kayla McGee and Tyresha Jones. Family violence intervention program, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, as well as no firearms. We would like to sound for Miss McGee and Miss Jones. I will state that the state's reason for asking for a surety bond is because of Miss Jones' contention that there has been violence in the past. This argument seems to be indicative of something else that has been going on, and Miss Jones did somewhat confirm that when she spoke to our victim advocate. So we are asking for a surety bond, although this is officially his first arrest. That's all for the state.
All right, Kayla McGee, if you want to unmute.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm with my child. I just picked up.
Are you okay? It looks like she's driving. Miss Champion, you can remove her from the Zoom.
Yeah, I just got in the car.
Yes,
I
go
had to
and
pick my
remove her
son
from
up.
the Zoom until she's parked. Thank you. Okay. Is there a Ternisha Jones on Zoom? Okay. Mr. Haddad, on count 1, simple battery family violence, it's going to be 1,500. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. This is going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. No violent contact with Kayla McGee, and with no violent contact with Ternisha Jones. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. He will report to pretrial once a month. This is level 1. And within 30 days of being released, he will enroll and start completing 8 anger management classes at his expense. He can work with pretrial to find out where he can take these classes. They are quite diligent about helping them get them affordable classes. Next court date will be sent to his current mailing address. Thank you.
Next is position 15, Mr. Hardy.
Why am I turning in?
Nicholas Hardy is accused of battery, family violence, and simple.
Hang on just a second. Hang on.
Oh, okay. You ready, Ms. McClay?
That would be my case if we're.
Oh,
talking
Mr. Haddad,
about
is that your case? Okay.
Yeah, it is, Judge.
All right. Nicholas Hardy is case 25 CR 4676B, accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence from December 14th, 2023. Mr. Hardy, you've been advised of your rights to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Haddad. And any priors, Mr. Howard?
Well, I didn't see any violent arrests, well, convictions.
All right.
Just probation violations.
What was the latest one?
The last arrest was 2014 DUI, suspended license and trespass.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened December 14th of 2023 at 2479 Abner Terrace in Atlanta. We did not have an opportunity to speak with Miss Kimberly Hardy. She did state at the time that he was upset because she went out with her girlfriends and she was punched in the face with a closed fist by the defendant. The officers did observe swelling to her face. I will say, you know, obviously with the 12 cycles, we do have some concerns, but I also did not see violence, nor did I see, and again, this case happened almost 2 years ago. State is agreeable for an SOV through pretrial services. No further contact with Kimberly Hardy since we have not had a chance to speak with her in regards to this case. Stay away from 2479 Abner Terrace in Atlanta, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms. We would like to sound for Kimberly Hardy in case she is here today. That's all for the state.
I do see a Kimberly Hardy on Zoom. If you want to contribute, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. Kimberly Hardy. Yes, no? All right. Mr. Haddad, on Nicholas Hardy, count 1 is going to be 2,000. Count 2 is going to be 1,000. Kimberly Hardy?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. My phone was stuck. We
Raise
was
your right
not
hand.
aware of this. We did.
Raise
Sorry.
your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I will.
How do you feel about having contact with Nicholas?
I don't have any problem with having contact with Nicholas. We did not know that this warrant was even out. We have been with each other since this incident and have went to counseling since then.
Okay. Are you comfortable with him being in the same home with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Your Honor, I do apologize. My victim advocate indicated to me that she was able to get in contact with Ms. Hardy. She sent me an updated note. I just happened to miss it. We are agreeable to no further violent contact. We will remove the stay away request as part of this because she did indicate to our victim advocate they are married and wish to stay in a relationship.
Okay. Bond is set at 3,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No violent contact with Kimberly Hardy, no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and he reports to pretrial once a month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is position 16, Mr. Higgins.
Jermaine Higgins is accused of 1 count of battery, family violence, and 1 count of simple battery, family violence from August 11th of this year. Case 25 CR 4675J. Mr. Higgins, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Any priors?
54. You got open shoplifting out of the cab. 2017 failure to appear. 2013 robbery conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened 2 days ago. The defendant and Miss Ashley Ames were getting off of a bus, and the defendant pulled her by the back of her head, grabbed the front of her shirt during a verbal altercation, and hit her, and she in turn hit him in the face with a purse in order to defend herself. The defendant was determined to be the predominant aggressor and was arrested as a result of this. Miss Ames was not. We do have, given the number of cycles, we are going to ask that the defendant receive he currently has no bond set on this charge, but we would ask that he receive a $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $1,000 on the family violence simple battery. No further contact with the defendant, with Miss Ashley Ames, excuse me. Stay away from her residence or her workplace. I will state that Miss Ames was arrested, but on a different warrant. So it had nothing to do with this incident. She was not arrested as a part of this incident. She was arrested because when they ran her name, she showed as having a warrant. We would like to sound for her, although I think she is in custody at this moment. That's all for the state.
All right. Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, Mr. Higgins is 53 years of age. He's employed through a temp service. Most of his record, I believe, is relatively older, on the older side. He reported to me that he's been getting assistance from Gateway with housing judge. The parties do not live together. They had apparently just met a few days ago. Obviously, stayaways is fine, Judge. I would ask the court to consider as low of a bond as possible. Understand he has, a history, but nonetheless, Judge, I would ask the court to consider something less in terms of monetary amount.
And I think I may have been confused, Mr. Haddad. The warrant says they were in a relationship and live together, but your contention is they do not?
That's what my client says. I read it in the report and I asked him specifically. He said no, they do not live together. A stayaway is obviously a no-brainer. We can deal with whether it's a family violence or not at a different day. But my main concern is the monetary amount. That's all.
On count 1 is going to be 1,500. Count 2 is going to be 500. His total bond is going to be 2,000, and this is going to be a surety bond. No further contact with Ashley Ames. Stay away from wherever she lives, wherever she works, whatever bus or train she's on. He cannot be within 200 yards of her. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. His next court date is going to be August 26. Thank you.
Next is position 23, Mr. Mincy.
Have we made a dent in this calendar?
We're in the home stretch, Your Honor.
All right. Bryce Denard Mincy is accused of simple battery family violence from July 4th of this year, case 25 CR 46778. Mr. Mincy, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
13. You got an open battery, trespass, damage to property out of state court. 2024, 2022 failure to appear. 2015 assault battery conviction. 2014 failure to appear. 2014 assault battery conviction. 2014 entering premises after warning conviction. I think it's South Carolina at the state. 2013 disrupt public schools conviction.
And a resident of Georgia?
I don't know, but it'd be per judge if you give him single bond.
All right. And Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on this is going to be a $2,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with Haley Andrews, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no firearms, and family violence intervention program. We saw that open case, the 21 CR open case for battery and criminal trespass. In that incident, he abused a different woman named Kashwana Griffin and broke her window. She had a laceration and swelling to her lip. We also saw the 8 cycles out of South Carolina with a 2015 conviction for assault and battery in the 2nd degree. He also has a 2024 and a 2022 FTA, so we are concerned both at the risk of reoffense and the failure, the likelihood that he may not appear for court, given he has 2 FTAs within the last 3 years. We did speak with Miss Haley Andrews, and she did state that they are no longer living together, no longer in a relationship. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated this was the first time the defendant has been violent toward her. However, she said there was another altercation at the end of July where he spit in her face. And she stated he was arrested and the case is with the city of Atlanta, but was later dropped. So for that reason, we are asking for a surety bond given his history and his concerning number of FTAs in the last 3 years. That's all for the state. And we would like to sound for Haley Andrews in case she is here.
Okay. Haley Andrews, if you'd like to contribute, you need to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. McLean. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Honor. He's got a Niskey Lake, Atlanta address in the 3031 area code, so he's local. He's been in Atlanta quite a while. I'm not sure how many years, but quite a while. 2 years of college, has worked in a warehouse for half a year, and he also repairs electronics. So he's skilled, industrious, and wouldn't have any trouble keeping on holding down a job. He's unemployed at the moment, but it shouldn't take long for him to get another job right quick.
Okay.
We would ask the court to consider a signature bond if possible, and if that's not possible, then we'd ask the court to consider the 1,000 surety bond.
Well, you know the FTAs disqualify him from the signature bond.
Right.
Simple battery is going to be $1,500. It's a surety bond. Next court date is August 26th, and we will reset this case to August 26th along with his other open case, 21 CR 0077098.
Next is position
What's the-
24, some more.
What's the contact?
No violent contact with Haley Andrews. Tyler Moore, is that correct, Deputy?
Judge.
Accused of simple battery family violence and battery family violence from 25 CR 4685H. Mr. Moore, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors?
No.
Okay. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 11th. It's a domestic dispute at 215 Piedmont Avenue, apartment 2202. Officers arrived and they spoke with the victim, Ms. Erica Molina Hernandez, who advised that her husband, the defendant, attacked her around 1 o'clock p.m. that day. She asked him for her documents, and these are apparently some citizenship documents. He hid from her and didn't want to give them to her. He ignored her repeatedly after she asked for it, so she started to look for it herself. Once she found her documents, he went crazy, as she described to officers, and grabbed her while she was trying to leave, and a physical altercation ensued. Officers did not observe, officers did observe visible injuries to Ms. Hernandez's left arm. She had bruises on her arms and an injury to her left finger. We did make contact with Ms. Hernandez. She stated she doesn't speak English, so she allowed her brother to translate for us. But she stated that her and the defendant are married. They were living together at this Airbnb. They don't have any children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that this is the first time that the abuse from the defendant has turned physical. She has since moved from the incident location, has no plans to return, and she wishes to have no contact at all with the defendant. Our recommendation, Your Honor, is a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no contact at all with Ms. Erica Molina Hernandez, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And we do believe that the victim joined us on Zoom, so we'll sound for Ms. Molina Hernandez at this time.
Miss Molina Hernandez, unless you joined by iPad, I don't see anyone with that name. All right, Mr. McLean? Yes, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Moore is local, always has been. They did live together, no longer do. He has a BA in accountancy from a local large university here in Atlanta. He has already taken several of his certification exams to try to get a CPA. That's underway. He is self-employed in financial matters, financial advice, and has also an auditing job. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond, but if that is not legal or possible, Your Honor, we would ask for a $1,000 surety.
Okay. On the battery family violence, that's a $1,000 surety bond. On the simple battery, there's a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. This is going to be a $4,000 split bond. Once he posts bond on the $1,000 portion, he will be released through signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. He will report to pretrial twice a month or once every 2 weeks. Have no further contact with Miss Hernandez. Is it Erica Hernandez, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
He can return to the home at Piedmont Avenue since it's indicated that she's vacated the premises. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. This is a series of 24 classes, and he will attend and complete all classes at his expense without missing or skipping them. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Thank you. Oh, next court date is August 26th.
Next is position 41, Mr. Wilson.
Jacob Wilson is accused of loitering and prowling from August 12th of this year, 25 CRs 46788. Mr. Wilson, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
Third. He got open obstruction, possession of a firearm. Hold on, entering auto. Cobb County entering auto. Yeah, so he got 2 open cases out of Cobb.
All right.
One of them is 13 counts of entering auto. God. Get the whole parking lot. All right, this is.
And Miss Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is in line with the preset bond here, which is a $2,500 surety. We're asking for a stay away from 226 Peachtree Street Southwest. I'm sorry. The defendant was seen on August 12th following officers into this Atlanta City Police Headquarters parking building, and they actually made contact with the defendant by asking him. They saw him actually going around to a car and trying to grab on the handles of the car, and asked him what he was doing. And he told officers he was trying to break into vehicles, and he was placed under arrest. So the state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $2,500 surety bond as set by the magistrate court. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol, and a stay away from the incident location.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he's 18, has a Forest Park address. It appears to be a stable address on Governor's Drive. Got his family phone numbers. He's from Georgia. Excuse me. 12th grade education, youth build through the Youth Build organization too. Your Honor, in the past, he's done clothing retail. He has also worked in restaurants. We'd ask for the lowest possible bond. If a signature bond is possible, we would ask for that. And if a signature bond is not possible, then we would like to have the court set a $1,000 surety.
Right, bond is set at $1,500. It's a surety bond. Next court date is August 26th. He is to stay away from 226 Peachtree Street in Southwest Atlanta, and he's to stay away from all public parking lots in Fulton County unless he has his own vehicle parked in that lot. Thank you.
Next is position 42, Mr. Young.
Aaron Young is case 25 CR 4671C, accused of criminal trespass and willful obstruction of an officer from August 10th of this year. Mr. Young, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
24. On probation, simple assault, trespass, stalking. 22 SC 183792. On probation out of Spalding County, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. Also on probation in Fulton, theft by taking. 24 SC 006 267. On probation, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. 25 SC 003 649. I got FTAs from 23, 24, and 22.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendations: $2,000 surety bond, which is $1,000 for each count. A stay away from the Sheridan Hotel, located at 165 Courtland Street Northeast. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and will ask for a social worker visit. This incident occurred from an August 10th incident where the defendant was on scene, saying things to the valet at the hotel, such as they had his Ferrari keys, and when they asked him repeatedly to leave the location because he wasn't making any coherent sense, he went to the valet box and attempted to grab keys from the valet box and start trying to unlock cars. And that's when security there subdued him, and officers eventually arrived on the scene while he was being subdued and placed him under arrest.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, I do have a family phone number and he's social worker visit to see about BHET or something like that. But Your Honor, I do have one family phone number for an uncle. I think the uncle can get hold of his mom. He may have a medication problem here. He's worked in a warehouse. He's got a high school education at least. We'd ask for the lowest possible bond, Your Honor.
Okay. It's $750 on each count. His total bond is $1,500. It is a cash bond only. Stay away from the Sheraton Hotel at 165 Courtland Street in Southwest Atlanta. Next court date is going to be August 26th, and he'll need a social worker visit. Please unmute courtroom 2. Mr. Young, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you.
I only wanted to say for those FTAs, it was a clerical error in the system where Fulton County had got hacked and those cases had got dismissed and dropped. So I was just going to see if it was possible.
Well, let me get right on that then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is position 39, Mr. Williams.
Was this the one that
wave sounding?
Can we stop the live stream, Miss Champion? All right, let's see now. Sheila Thornton is with courthouse staff, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Well, the solicitors.
All right, and I don't know who is on this IP. So remove this person from the Zoom. All right.